Drama City Productions presents.
You are plugged in for the Podcast Wrestling Society, where you can get dynamic weekly pro wrestling and MMA-related content. Give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PODWRES Society so that you can stay in the know.
Faith is the place, and the sky's the limit.
And if you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Now, your host, he is the
one and only
Troy Adams.
You are listening to the hottest fan-run pro wrestling and MMA podcast on the market. Thank you for joining the Podcast Wrestling Society. I am your loving leader, benevolent host, Midwest Monster, and the man who is currently in a legal battle with Booker T over the use of the letter T, Troy Adams. And rejoining the society here today, they're back. It's my fellow Misfits in action. They are the Lieutenant Loco and Private Stash to my huge erection. They are Greg and Ramon. What up, guys?
It's great to be back.
Oh, yeah.
Drink us in, man.
Drink it all in. Put it all in your mouth and drink it in. Swallow it.
What the...
TJ, one thing, though. Why do we have to be the Misfits in action? Why can't we be the Filthy Animals?
Oh, yeah,
And
because
why do I
that's
have
so
to be
much better.
Lieutenant Loco? Ramon's way more Mexican than me.
I didn't say who was who.
The Chavo.
I was going to say, I didn't say who was who. You're just, you're picking it right now. So the fact that you
him first, so...
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you could jump to that conclusion, but the fact that Greg instantly goes, well, I'm clearly Lieutenant Loco, tells me, All right. My gosh. We haven't done wrestling news in a couple of weeks.
There was stuff going on in wrestling? I thought they took a break for last month.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
There's been some big things, too. Quite a few people quit.
Well, yeah. Well,
on that later.
Yeah, there is an actual story about, a certain somebody who, quote-unquote, quit, and yet, well, there's a story that just kind of blows that whole storyline right out of the water as soon as it gets going, but, oh my gosh.
On that later, dude.
Yeah. Well, and you guys had some fun in the York City of New for SummerSlam weekend, or excuse me, the weekend of the Summerfest. I'm sure you guys enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was awesome. My first SummerSlam.
Oh,
my
wow.
SummerSlam shirt.
Well, how about that? Hey, you got your first SummerSlam, and I got my first WrestleMania all in the same year, so how about that?
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Both with Greg, so, he's just...
Oh, great. Both of our first times with Greg.
Yeah, sloppy seconds.
Greg's first WrestleMania was with me, so I guess that all fits in together.
Yeah, it's like it's a round robin of never mind, I'm not going there. But anyway.
We're going to Canada. That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. More on that later. We will, there's something about the, you heading to Canada and why.
Yeah, they have
How I Met Your Mother
episode based on that.
And How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Barney's like, I just got out of the hospital and they didn't give me a bill. Those idiots.
What the hell? Oh, man. All right. Well, just to let everybody know, if you are listening to us on one form of podcast, whatever, you can always listen to us on multiple platforms. We are on Whooshka, iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, which is our newest one, and YouTube, which I have fallen behind on because of my recent vacation, but I will try to get the archives up very soon. So listen to us on all forms and just tune us in, man. That's the second Chris Jericho reference we've got in less than 5 minutes, so...
Oh, well, there'll be more. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I'm sure there will.
Yeah, you stupid idiot.
My God. Well, especially when we bring up Canada, there will be definitely
He's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, so, and also, if you want to advertise with us, because we are the hottest running fan-run wrestling and MMA podcast out there, check us out, advertisecast.com/podcast wrestling society, and advertise with us, man. I was going to do another Chris Jericho reference, but that's too many. That's too many before the 10-minute mark. Or can you have too many Chris Jericho references? I guess that's the question. But
the answer is no.
Never.
You don't know Ramon very well, do you? That was a dumb question. Or whatever.
Oh, well, was his gamer tag Jerichoholic? Or I'm sorry, excuse me, Jerichoholic?
That's true. You didn't have anything on him, even though I'm pretty sure Ramon would have spelled it right.
Oh, I'm sure he would have. And
was
not,
I high on Jericho?
Yeah, and then he wouldn't have argued about whether or not it's spelled correctly. I like how
Yeah.
For all of you out there, there was a guy we used to talk to that his gamer tag on Xbox Live was, he thought it was Jerichoholic, it was Jericholic, and we called him out on it, and he tried telling us we didn't know what we were talking about. I'm like, dude.
He was just an avid fan.
Which, by the way, brings us into our next shilling of stuff. That is an actual shirt at redbubble.com/people/podrest society. It says, I don't know much about wrestling, I'm just an avid fan. There you go.
It's funny that you worded just like that. Greg and I were out there a couple days ago, and some guy asked us if we were avid fans because he saw my Bailey bracelet.
Oh my gosh. You're like, you should have been like, yeah, I only know a little bit about wrestling. I'm only an avid fan. And just have him looking so
confused. Side note, by the way, this guy's like, I'm a huge Mark, and Roman's like, who's your favorite? Oh, Punk.
Who's your
you don't
favorite?
say. You're a Mark. You don't say.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
My gosh. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout now to let you know about our swag. You can get over at redbubble.com/people/pod-rest society. That's PODWRES society. You can get t-shirts of all kinds, hoodies, tank tops, mugs, travel mugs, clocks, phone cases, tablet covers, stickers, and much more. If you want some kind of swag with the many different logos and graphics and whatnot that we got on the page, if you want something that's not offered, let me know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Podrest Society, and I will get it up there for you. If you want some swag, we'll get it to you. That's redbubble.com/people/podrest society, PODWRES society, and you can get your own look, bro. Speaking of Punk, by the way, later on we will be talking about All In, and I saw the funniest thing related to
We're going to talk about All In.
Yeah. Well,
Greg.
No.
Yes.
Wow. I saw the funniest PSA on Facebook and some other wrestling pages people put out. They said, if you're going to be attending StarCast, All In, or any of the other festivities over the weekend, and obviously it's by the time this airs, it's all past. They said, please, it only takes a couple of minutes. Take a shower before attending an event. Because they were saying they were like, there's nothing worse than standing in line waiting to get an autograph behind some dude who hasn't showered in a week. Like,
oh my God!
I saw something similar to that on Twitter. It's like, what if a crazy turn of events, WWE's Evolution had everyone smelling like perfume instead of BO?
What the hell? Well,
because it's all women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Greg and I, when we went to Access, and you've been to Access for long,
I know.
so
Go ahead.
yeah. Well, we went. I don't know, Greg, if you
showered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
you showed up in your smelly ass Bullet Club shirts.
Whoa.
Sure. What do you mean plural? What's the plural at? I want to know. What
Okay. Either you showed up in different shirts or you shared the same shirt. Whatever.
What the hell? No, I wore my Bullet Club shirt to Access, so I that's not really a defense. But screw you, you're wrong.
And don't worry, he took some heat from the revival for it.
Oh, I did, and
then
it made
after Craig put it on, I got you.
Yeah, but it made for the what the hell? But it made for like one of the funniest moments of the whole vacation. So totally worth it. I got a picture of myself sweeting next to the revival.
Yep.
So that's hey, that's worth 1,000 words right there. But either way, no, at Access, I didn't smell it as much because it was more open. But when you're in WrestleCon, it's very crammed in and everything. Mother of God, the amount of people who clearly haven't showered since they landed in New Orleans was just remarkable.
We saw one guy literally carrying his luggage around, so I think he landed and
He
went
was.
straight there.
And I don't understand why he was carrying the luggage, because he looked like he's been wearing the same, like he wore the same outfit like the whole time he was there. And I'm like, so you packed one pair of clothes and like that's it. Why the luggage? To carry
You
your
know what's in
merch?
the luggage, right?
What?
Just stuff to get signed.
Yeah, you're probably
It's like
right
it's like a
on.
Glacier toy and a Dink the Clown
My
action
God.
figure.
Oh my God. If you-
And one more thing on this real quick before we get off of it, Ramon. Yes, the look, bro.
So,
Enough
of
said.
course.
Enough said.
hardcore.
Enough said.
Yeah, he was taller. He was taller than Greg, and Greg's not a short man.
Holy
And
crap, that's really tall.
Yeah, he was a large dude. Yeah,
he's taller than Greg, and I don't know. I'd say he weighs like more than you and I combined. So
You think,
yeah.
you think
He was.
high above his head?
Yep.
he was he was like Pigpen from Peanuts, all grown up. But
A cloud of workism everywhere.
oh my God,
Oh.
yeah, basically.
Books next year at WrestleCon in New York. Please, book
it's in
somewhere that
Times-
has windows.
It's in Times Square, so
Oh
I
man,
don't know where.
It
They've
has
already
windows.
confirmed that, but yeah, right.
nah, not many places there do, man. So I don't know. You're probably gonna be screwed again. Like when we went to that comic shop, it was pretty stuffy in there. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's enough talking about sweaty, smelly marks. Let's get on to
Big. Yeah. So I'm talking about big wrestlers.
oh hell yeah, talk about big sweaty men that are in the ring, not out of it. And let's start off with some WWE news, bros. Not sure if you guys are able to hear the sounders.
I did.
I thought that was you having a stroke.
What the hell? No, that is our new sounders we play every time we go into a new section of the news, bro. So, oh wait, no,
That's
sorry,
your Jerry
too.
Springer when two prostitutes are about to beat the hell out of each other.
Missing 7 teeth.
Oh well, man, you just mentioned like the favorite thing of or viewing habits of Vinny Ruru from.
And the future stars of HCW are on that show. So
Well, hell
And
yeah.
their future booker, apparently.
Oh well, yeah. Things are gonna
Let's
be
get
on
off
polls,
that.
bro.
Bro, I didn't even know what the homeless was, bro.
When he died, I cried, bro. All right,
wow.
let's just get into this. Dang. Apparently, Goldberg did an interview where he says the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony needs to be changed. He was on Inside the Ropes with Kenny McIntosh of
I saw Kenny McIntosh. He's sitting behind us at a Raw.
Oh yes. No, it was SummerSlam. Yeah.
So
Oh, awesome, nice. Yeah, I always wanted to meet.
I would have never spotted him. Everyone pointed him out.
Yeah, I love What Culture. Shout out to What Culture Pro Wrestling.
yeah.
But,
He used to work for What Culture in like 2 years. But yeah, go What Culture.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Now it's all
They're
about
on, like,
cultaholics.
But still,
Let's
Yeah,
not talk about other wrestling people that talk about wrestling. Screw them.
yeah,
yeah. Listen
right.
to us.
But
Yeah, just like
But I guess Goldberg was on Inside the Ropes, and he said, this is a quote, he said, "First and foremost, I went to Vince and I told him my impression of the Hall of Fame and what should happen, what happened the night before, and I don't think it's a justice to the people being inducted. I don't think it's justice to the fans that sit there for 4 hours. I think it needs to be changed completely right up on its head. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't care if the person that puts it together thinks I'm full of expletive. It needs to be changed because it sucks. I don't care about what other people say or how they did it. I'm telling you from my experience as a headliner in 2018 in the Hall of Fame, it needs to be changed." I will say it's kind of a haul.
You have
I
a
enjoyed my
suggestion?
time, but I don't know. Well, the thing is, I think he also might have said that because by the time he, being the headliner, came out, half of the wrestling audience, like the wrestlers in the audience, were gone. Like, you remember that? Like, he tried calling out Roman. Roman wasn't there. I'm like, wow. All the women were gone. Just like, he's basically speaking to like a half full audience here.
I'm kind of with them. I've sat through, I don't know, 6 of these.
Dang.
And there are parts that it does kind of drag until you get to like a
I
speech or the headliner, like, who you're really there for, like Kurt Angle or whatever.
Right.
I will agree, but I thought that 2013, the entire thing was great. That's still the best class so far.
Whatever.
And I was into every speech, basically.
What was the one with Mr. T? Was that 2015?
No, we were at 15.
Okay.
No, I think it was 14.
Okay. That one, Mother of God, if I had to sit through that, I would have put my head through the wall. Like, holy hell, that was
Well,
bad.
like this year with you guys, I mean, all due respect, but Hillbilly Jim just rambled for like an hour.
Yeah, and reminded us that he's a good old Kentucky boy like 5,000 times.
And that he got lucky to even be where he was at and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, we get it.
So,
Kiss
I
Hulk
don't know if
Hogan's
Goldberg
ass.
actually I don't know. Yeah, he did kiss Hogan's ass a lot. I don't know if Goldberg has a suggestion on what to do. Maybe
He didn't
more
give
like,
one.
Yeah, see,
but
that's the thing. Like, Bruce Pritchard had talked about this before, not to name drop him again, but he talked about, and this goes in any situation. He's like, don't just say that sucks and it needs to be changed. He's like, if you're going to say that sucks, we should do it this way. Don't just leave it open-ended like that sucks. And they're like, well, you got a better idea? Well, no, but it sucks. Like, so what? Just keep your mouth shut. I mean, if he has suggestions, cool, but what are you going to do? You going to play music and play him off the stage like at the Oscars or something? Which, I mean, I wouldn't be totally against, but dang.
Like, the way I see it, though, like, this is a lot of these guys and women, this is their last shot. Last time on WWE TV, really.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Exception being Goldberg, which is funny.
Yeah, I know.
Goldberg, we'll see.
It's funny, like, he's the exception. He's the one saying this.
Yeah, but we're not going to see, like, the Bushwhackers or, Rock and Roll Express or something. We're not really going to see these guys anymore.
And
but
remember,
like,
if you don't see the Bushwhackers in public, by the way, don't shake their hands. They don't wash after the bath. Anyways.
Yeah, you said one of them, who was at WrestleCon, took a dump and didn't wash his hands. Who does that?
Them? Or,
oh my
I think
gosh.
it was Butch.
Butch, wasn't it? But,
yeah.
Well, yeah, you got a good point, though. I mean, that this is their last hurrah. I mean...
Like, even the Dudleys, like, Devon said, this is the last time the Dudleys will be the Dudleys. Like, Devon's doing his
you can
production
pick some
thing.
that might have another match, but a person like Hillbilly Jim is probably never coming back. So, yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, if you want to, like, him rambling for an hour is going to be the last time he's get a chance to be on WWE TV. So, I wouldn't really want to take that away from them. But, it is a long time sitting there.
Well, okay, and there's the other thing, too. It's no longer, like, needs to be edited or nothing. It airs on the network. It is, like, you can air for however long. That's the thing. So, that adds to it.
Well, see, when it originally happened it was Friday this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed it live. I ended up watching it on delay on the network. And I kind of fast forwarded through part of it because I didn't have to sit there and watch all of it.
Right.
So unlike you guys, I didn't sit there for the 4 hours. I fast forwarded and I watched who I wanted to see, like Goldberg and stuff. So like you could change it, sure, but at the same time you could just watch it when you want to watch it and watch who you want to watch.
Yeah. Well, he was also complaining about 2 nights later on Raw where they brought him out and whatever, and he was like, I basically stuck around New Orleans to walk out on stage and say hi and whatever, and he was like, it was kind of annoying and a waste of time, and he also said, he's like, it's like being on the sidelines of a sports game and knowing that you can still go out there and play at a high level, and it's like,
okay, now it just sounds like he's complaining.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, well,
like he's Terrell Owens or something.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, all right, Goldberg, it was cool to see you back and everything, but when you start saying things like you can still perform at a high level, like, calm down.
Yeah, for 3 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Well,
and then
that is
blown
a high
up.
level.
I'm sure you two guys can perform for high levels for 3 minutes.
Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Prom night flashback.
All right. Hey, hey, Ramon, how's your kid doing? Anyways.
What the hell?
At least 7, right?
Speaking of...
no, I believe he's 5, but whatever.
What the hell?
Can I go on a quick rant about Reigns and Marks real quick?
Go.
So the thing about Reigns being the champion, whether you like Reigns or not, and you're going to quote-unquote boycott WWE, how many hours of WWE television are there? How many different shows are there? If you don't like it, then go watch SmackDown. AJ Styles is the WWE
that's-
champion. His main
that's
feud is
very
Samoa
true.
Joe.
Yeah.
If you don't like either of those two, watch NXT. The freaking champion is Tommaso Ciampa, and his biggest rival is Gargano. Like, there's so much other indie darlings for you to go cheer for or against. If you don't like Reigns, then just don't watch Raw.
Well, not that I think Raw's been complete trash lately or anything, but in all honesty, like last week in particular, when I watched Raw and then watched SmackDown right afterwards, and I see that I'm like apparently not the only person that has this reaction. They were like, I was like, is this like seriously the same freaking company producing these two shows? Because they are vastly different. Like SmackDown, I thought was an amazing episode. Raw, I thought was good, but like I don't know, SmackDown just feels more like I feel it more, and there's more personal issues and stuff like that. Like I really love SmackDown and the direction it's going right now. Raw is meh. It's good, but I don't know.
The way I see the difference between the two shows, it always feels like SmackDown has linear stories, and like they kind of like build for a while. While Raw, it just seems like it kind of just jumps around, and they're just like, we're just gonna do this for a little while, and then we're gonna change it. While SmackDown, it seems like they actually let the stories run for a little while. Like this Randy and Jeff thing is gone for a little while, and it's really gone through two different feuds.
Yeah. Well, and they haven't been having matches every freaking week, which is refreshing.
You know, like the Riot Squad and the Huggers, Boss, whatever they call themselves thing.
Boss and or Hug and Boss and Hug. Whatever, I don't know. Boss Hog. I don't freaking know.
Just get
Boss
me
Hog.
Sorry.
The Bug Connection, what do they call themselves?
Yeah, it's stupid. Worst name ever, but whatever. This was a story Greg brought up earlier. SummerSlam is officially headed to Toronto, Ontario, Canada next year.
Yeah, the home of Chris Jericho.
He's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
It's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Oh man.
We both got him. All right,
Some
well,
of you guys pick up on that.
see, Greg, you and I had this discussion before, and we're like, well, where the hell are they going to move it next year? And you're like, oh, dude, it's going to be in L.A. Clearly, it's going to be in L.A. And it's like, boom, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Screw you both.
They just move an hour and a half up from where they've been.
Basically. Like, of all places, I mean, not that, you know, they don't deserve it, but like, when I think SummerSlam, never once does Toronto cross my mind.
Yeah, SummerSlam
Been
2004.
there before, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
where
know.
Randy Orton beat some guy to become the youngest world champion in history.
My God.
And
Well, you know,
he got booed out of his own hometown.
yeah, he should have refused to do the job there because, you know, he doesn't want a job in front of his home crowd. That might make him look weak. Did you ever hear?
God, I hope your brother doesn't listen to this.
Did you ever
I doubt it.
You ever hear that?
Also, he wasn't from Montreal.
Yeah. Well, did you guys ever hear that story about like Kevin Nash was talking about Carl Ouellet or Pierre Carl, whatever?
Hey,
Same
real quick, on the French announce team, what happened to one of the Rougeau brothers?
I don't know.
No.
He wasn't the announcer anymore. Anyways, okay, go on.
But yeah,
So it's-
I guess Carl Ouellet said something. They were doing a house show up in Montreal or something like that, and I guess Kevin Nash or Diesel, whatever, was supposed to win like clean, and he's like, "Whoa, we're in my hometown, so you know, like they're going to want to see me, so why don't you know? How about I go over?" And he's like, "No, screw you. You take my finish and you get pinned. It's not negotiable." And he was like, "How about you know maybe a count out or something?" And he's like, "All right, whatever." And he's like, and they go out there and he's got him in a headlock, and he said he said the crowd was like going crazy for Diesel, and he leans in, he's like, "Sounds more like 70-30 me. You still want to do that count out?"
You doing the job or not?
Yeah. It's like, "No, you take my finish. Screw you."
Hey, after Bailey had to lose in San Jose, everyone has to lose in their hometown, so screw them.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
gosh.
true.
Yeah. Well,
Still
going from us going, yay, Toronto, to this, WWE's next show in Saudi Arabia will be on Friday, November 2nd.
Yeah, Dayton.
What the?
What the hell?
What the? Wow. Okay. But it'll be
What
Friday.
the hell? That was like the most random thing.
Friday, November 2nd. That's according to PW Insider. It's not known yet if it will be streamed on the network. Oh, well, why wouldn't it be?
I don't care because that last one sucked, so I am not watching it.
Yeah.
It's probably the live special they've had on the network.
Well,
They've had a couple.
what are you talking
They've had
about,
one of those-
Greg? They had that one guy that was a sumo wrestler that nobody knew who the hell he was, and Michael Cole acted like it was a major coup.
Let's not forget about the epic world slide.
Oh my
We also
gosh.
had that really big ass guy, the Bobbity, or whatever the hell his name was.
Babatunde. And apparently,
you would remember.
The fact that you remember that as like,
Yeah.
oh man.
well,
I was just a Dragon Ball Z joke, but whatever.
Clearly, TJ was very into it.
yeah, that's it.
He remembers all
Super.
50 entrances and their numbers, how long they lasted.
Yeah, well,
This is the greatest moment of wrestling history. For
Ty
TJ
Dellinger was
right
number
there.
10 again. I don't know. But, well, they had that one dude, the big bald dude who, I can't even remember what the hell his name is. He was like,
The guy that came out and eliminated the Bobbity or whatever.
yeah, he was the big, tall, bald
Nathan
dude, almost
Jones.
looked like Nathan Jones. Yeah.
Baba Kadoosh.
What the hell? You made it worse.
Flying Bobby Gadouches.
The hell?
Hey, you look at booking those guys, right?
What do you mean, me?
No, you know who booked those guys, right?
No.
Stevie Richards.
Wait, what?
Greg, you get me, right?
Yeah, he was the general manager of Heat.
Yeah, Stevie Night Heat.
Oh my gosh.
They're so lost right now.
Man, I must
Let's
not
talk
have
about
watched-
HCW. That'll get him back.
The original Bob Gadouche.
And
What?
then we brought that back.
The original Bob Gadouche.
The hell.
Remember the original ones?
Well, while we're
Was
going
Bobby
over,
It was rude, yeah.
well, we're going over international shows here. Let's go over what's been solidified so far for Super Showdown in Australia. The newest one, I guess. Cedric Alexander will defend the cruiserweight title against, guess who? Buddy Murphy. Like,
Buddy
no.
Murphy deserves it, man. Nipple's carrying that crappy ass brand.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it's like, oh, go figure. He gets his
he
title
has
shot.
enough in life, okay?
Yeah, I agree. But think of it, it's like, oh, where are you going to get your title shot? Oh, in front of your hometown crowd. By the way, you're doing the job, kid, so good luck.
You know what? You know what? I was thinking we're still talking about Saudi Arabia. I was like, what do you mean his hometown?
Oh, my God. No.
Australia.
Super Showdown.
Wow.
My
God.
bad.
AJ Styles will defend the WWE title against Samoa Joe, so they're basically doing the same thing with Joe that they did with Nakamura for Greatest Royal Rumble, seems like. This is an odd one, and this
Well,
is...
by then it'll be Samoa Joe's WWE Championship.
Yeah, maybe.
Jeez.
I wouldn't hate that. But and this is kind of an odd one. John Cena will team up with Bobby Lashley to take on Elias and, but I thought he quit, Kevin Owens. That's just kind of...
Oh.
Kayfabe, bro.
That's
It's gonna be somebody else. Swerve.
They're like, you remember the storyline that we're promoting? Yeah, well, we're going to take a big poop on it and promote that Kevin Owens is going to be in Australia.
Well, they haven't mentioned it since he quit on Raw.
Could
so.
easily pulled him, though.
Yeah. Well, they're still advertising it like this is happening, so I don't know. But,
Hard subject to change.
yeah. But I did see, as soon as he said I quit on Raw to push the storyline, just like last time when they got quote-unquote fired, Pro Wrestling Tees sends me an email. They're like, Kevin Steen shirts are back. Like, oh my
Didn't
God.
he change his Twitter back to Kevin Steen too?
I haven't noticed, so he probably did. This other one, my God, it's Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad. Yeah. So have fun doing the job, Riot Squad. You should be used to it by now. The Shield.
Well, yeah, that's when Nikki turns on Ronda, setting up their Evolution match.
Shut up. Just
Yeah, because that's what we want.
Don't tell me to shut up. You know this damn well what's gonna happen.
yeah. And then this one, Greg is legitimately excited for. I'm like, okay, it's a match. The Shield will take on Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. Actually, that should be a good match. So
great.
yeah, it should be.
I was hoping it was gonna be the Shield versus the Undisputed Era, but whatever.
Yeah, right. And not for a while. This one is probably the one I'm looking. Besides the Undertaker and Triple H one, this is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz. Winner gets a WWE title shot sometime in the future. So
AKA Los Angeles at the Survivor Series in the Miz's hometown.
Oh, man. Yeah, adopted hometown.
His real hometown of Los Angeles.
He jumped. He knew what he was doing.
Even though he's still doing like hype videos for the Browns every season.
He left Cleveland to LA just like LeBron James.
Oh, eat me. You can eat me on that one.
Okay, look, TJ, if it helps, we're still going to kick his ass pretty badly quite a few times.
We'll just beat him at least a round earlier.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I was talking to people about this, not to get off on a basketball tangent here, but I'm going to for a second. I was like, why the hell did he join the Lakers other than, living convenience, perhaps? It's like, he's going to get his ass whooped even more times during the season now by the Warriors. He's never, ever, ever going to win that division, ever.
He plays in the West.
Yeah, I'm like,
honestly,
he'll never go back to the finals.
I feel like it was for his movie career. As soon as he moved over to LA, like he's been linked to so many projects for his producing.
Like Uncle
I'm pretty
Drew
sure
too.
It's just because it's Los Angeles, and he didn't want to play for the Clippers, so.
Yeah, he's gonna star in Uncle Drew too.
Oh God!
Sure, for being Uncle Drew too. That's starring his arch nemesis.
Yeah, well, he's gonna replace him, and
Wait, Stephen Curry's Uncle Drew too?
Oh my god!
I think he might hate Irving more than he hates Steph Curry.
Probably. Well, and then because if Irving, whatever, Kyrie Irving would have stuck around, he would have had a little better of a chance in the finals. But no, he's going to do space.
You guys want to win one game?
Yeah. Cue up, I Believe I Can Fly, because he's going to be starring in Space Jam 2.
As the villain.
Yeah. While Brock Lesnar is now gone to focus on his next fight in the UFC, he is expected back in the WWE in the future. Well, duh, because Vince is going to wring every dollar he can out of that dude.
I don't think he's wringing the dollars. He's giving said dollars to Brock.
Yeah. How much of a draw do you still think Brock Lesnar is at this point?
What do you think the plus minus on that is? Like, how much he has to pay Brock and how much he actually draws in?
Yeah, I know.
I'm certain Dana White's going to make a bigger profit, though.
Oh, hell yeah. No, there's no doubt in my mind about that. He's old news in WWE, and people are sick of seeing him. He hasn't been around UFC long enough for people to get sick of him.
Well, all you have to do is sign up and watch Brock Lesnar for free every month while you have to spend, the $60 for UFC?
Yeah, I know.
Or go to your local establishment.
$60 to see Cormier and Brock.
Yeah.
10 minutes or less.
Wow. Yay, more Brock in the future, perhaps. Woohoo. WWE is negotiating with The Rock on SmackDown 1000, according to Barn Burner's Fired Up podcast. And they are, quote, very, very close to getting him booked for the October 16th show. Well,
it is his show.
Exactly. So, there you go.
He's sitting in Washington, so I think they can get Batista maybe, too.
Oh, that'd be cool. I wonder if he'll come out and grab the mic. Since they're live now, he'll go on a diatribe about how Disney needs to rehire James Gunn. Oh,
Can I take a moment to be serious, please?
Okay, Lance
Disney
Storm.
needs to rehire James Gunn. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Well, at least it's not in Dayton again. So,
Yeah,
Dayton.
saw that coming. You can get a t-shirt, by the way, that says, yeah, Dayton. And above it says, a Dayton with Destiny in the WrestleMania font. That is available.
I gotta get
It's coming soon,
My gosh. Yeah, we'll get it before the actual show from HCW.
It'll be almost as big as TripleMania.
My gosh. We will get to that.
Will we?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope so.
Heads up, by the way, this podcast may be a little long, but you know what? We haven't talked in a while. We haven't covered stuff in a while, so sit back and enjoy it. You know, take a couple sessions to listen to it, or listen to it while you're playing the new Fire Pro Wrestling Fire Pro Wrestling World game that Greg just
which is
purchased.
Currently updating right now for me. I'm about to start it up whenever it's done updating.
Nice. According to that same Barn Burners Fired Up podcast, Kevin Owens could be a Paul Heyman guy when he's brought back to TV.
Oh, man.
There's also talk of...
Yeah, because Owens needs Heyman.
Well...
Because everyone needs a mouthpiece. It's Kevin Owens.
Well, Punk sure as hell didn't need him either, but it added to the package. You know, that sweet, sweet package. So...
Oh.
Of course Punk's a Paul Heyman guy. He's the one who coined the term.
Yeah. The reason I see it making sense is because, you know, Brock Lesnar was a prize fighter. Kevin Owens is a quote-unquote prize fighter. So, you know, I don't know. Something. Whatever. If it gets Kevin Owens more TV time and, you know, gives him another push, I'm all for it. But there's also talk of putting Heyman with Ronda Rousey, which, that one blows my mind. Like, she doesn't really need to... Sure, she might need a mouthpiece, but he's a heel.
Oh, I'll give her a piece of my mouth.
What the
She
hell?
could be a heel, too.
He's a heel. Well, you know, if you really want to get them over as a package deal, they need to come out of a box on Raw.
Come out of a box, they're heel, mother effer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I listened to one of
Double
the
cheese, double
double mayo, double pickles. The first one of the first times he ever did that impression, like, and Conrad was like egging him on to do that. Conrad, I didn't think about this, but he's like, it's like a foul-mouthed Mickey Mouse. It's so true. PW Insider says that Neville was spotted in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, leading to speculation that he could be signing a new deal with WWE to work on a brand other than 205 Live.
I have it on good authority. He's going to another wrestling company.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Full of hobos. Right. Yeah.
He's going to be in Chicago tomorrow night. What are you guys talking about?
He's going to be #all in.
And if you're already listening to this has happened or did not happen at all.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the over the budget battle royal.
Yeah.
And face Jake Paul for the Ring of Honor title.
Yeah. By the way,
It'll be the return of Pac.
Oh my God. Real quick. Well, I'm so tired of, like, yeah, this is a big deal. It's a big event, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. But people are going way too far. And Greg, you pointed this out earlier. I'm so tired of seeing these comments. Thank you for saving wrestling. Like, what? What did they save? How? Because they ran one show? Like,
that hasn't even run yet.
I know. Well, as of the posting of this, it's ran. But yeah, it just, my God, they're not starting a promotion to rival WWE or something, like Mother of God. I don't.
Well, someone else is. Don't get ahead of ourselves.
No, eventually.
Yeah, it's gonna have lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
Oh my. And Michael Cole.
Oh my. Tiger. It's tiger time. What the hell?
Vintage. Oh my, what a maneuver.
It's tiger time. Speaking of that, Rey Mysterio is expected to return to WWE shortly after he works the All In event on September 1st, which
real quick,
happened.
Headlines the All In review. Let's make that clear. He's headlining that show.
He's not the main event.
Cody said it. That 6-man tag is the main event.
What? Because the last time I saw the card, and again, you know,
Cody said that was the main event. I read an interview from him. He said the 6-man tag is the main event.
Why?
So if that's true, All In is going to be headlined by a WWE guy. We need to point that out right now.
Well, either that was the main event or Cody was the main event. So either way, it was going to be main evented by a WWE guy.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, Rey Mysterio is basically on his way back, so it's technically a
you mean like a
now.
current WWE guy?
Yeah,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
So there you go.
Yeah. Well, you guys both know. I mean, I'm kind of a Cody mark. I'm not like his biggest fan of all time.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Really?
you don't say.
I'm nowhere.
Holy crap.
I thought I was a Cody fan, but like apparently I'm just a fan of his. Like, there are people that
just an avid fan.
Wow. A lot of the amount of people that suck up to him is just astounding. But moving on off of that, going back to WWE here, there continues to be speculation that Natalya versus Ronda Rousey is planned for a future program, likely sooner rather than later. Speaking of Rousey, The Observer says that it's not a lock that she'll wrestle Charlotte at WrestleMania 35, though it is one of the ideas WWE is currently considering.
That's what I figured it would be.
Yeah, I mean, that's that, and I want to see her face Asuka, who both of those women are currently on SmackDown, so it's like it'd be a inter-branded whatever, but those are the matches.
One of them wins the Rumble.
Yeah, well, it's like I think both of those matches are ones that, the obvious ones that everybody wants to see for Mania. Could you imagine the match that Charlotte could get out of her? Man. But sticking with the women here, Maurice versus Brie Bella is being considered for Evolution. My God.
Oh, God, that's going to be so great.
Listen, Greg, you got to put the butts in the seats, okay? We discuss this almost on a weekly basis. Butts in seats, Maurice versus Brie. Boom.
The match is going to be like 50 yes kick. Or it kick.
Yeah,
Asuka and Kelly will be the show stealer.
Oh, well, hell yeah. If that happens, my God.
I swear if Asuka jobs out to Kelly.
Oh, my God. Don't even joke. I can't even think of it right now.
If imagine the network subscription cancellations then.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
There's lots of talk that WWE has been reaching out to AJ Lee about a return for Evolution, and the former Divas champ is apparently being open to the idea. Yeah, until her husband...
She's also going to be all in.
Wow. That's until her husband tells her not to do it, and then she won't. So...
she's probably all in.
Oh, this whole litigation I have against them? Yeah, it might not be the best idea.
Well, I don't know. Well, are they in a lawsuit with WWE right now? I thought all that stuff was...
No, I think it's Punk and Colt.
Yeah, it's Punk and Colt right now. But oh man, somebody took a picture of Punk greeting fans at he's not at Starcast, but he's at the Pro Wrestling Tees shop there in town. And man, does he have a sour look on his face? And he looks like he hasn't eaten in a while. Like he looks.
Well, when you have a sour look too, all these marks came up to you with the smell and the look.
That's the new shirt. The smell, bro.
Why are you coming back?
The smell, bro.
Sam, can you please say the intro to my podcast?
Oh my God.
You're so much better than Roman.
What the hell? Every time Roman Reigns comes out, I chant for you. Can you please come back and save wrestling?
I've said your name more than I say my own parents' name.
I only masturbate to pictures of you.
Hashtag Punk was right.
The hell?
Hashtag doofus son-in-law.
Holy hell.
Who is currently the greatest wrestling promoter on the planet right now, I must say.
He's doing pretty well for it.
Well, all the sweaty marks would disagree with you and say it's Cody and the Bucks, but whatever. Because they've run one show, Greg. They know things. And I'm not trying to downplay it, but come on.
It's true.
Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan, pending their injuries, are apparently being taught how to be producers for WWE. Damn.
Oh, you're really shocked about that.
I told Ramon this one. I never wanted Jordan to be gone.
Yeah.
I just wanted that to stop.
Yeah, I know.
I really think he's talented. That sucks.
That one hurts. Kind of like when Tyson Kidd, although I heard Tyson is refusing to accept, that he's not coming back, and he's trying to train and get in better shape and whatever, but I don't see WWE putting him back in the ring. Matt Hardy, I think, finally was just like, you know what? I've done all their, I've hit my ceiling. I'm calling it a day.
Who had Jeff in the poll of who would last the longest of the TLC guys?
I know, right? What the hell?
Bubba's still going. I mean,
that doesn't count.
Off and on, yeah. Which is another weird one.
You know who he is?
Do you know who I am? Search for me on
it's
your...
also keep on Ryan. I hate pointing this out because I hate pointing this out because I like him, but it's also to point out that Devon's the only guy never to be world champion of all of them.
Oh my God, I know.
Implying that the TNA world title is a world title.
Oh, shut up.
And the ECW title.
Hey, whoa. Just to be clear, Christian has never been TNA champion. He's a 2-time NWA champion, which I don't know if is any better, but it has a better lineage.
What was the point you're trying to make?
It has a better lineage. There you go. Boom. I don't know.
What is it now, TJ?
Being defended at All In. There you go.
Yeah.
Why is that the second Barico reference we got in tonight?
My God. I don't know. That's just.
We need to re-examine the whole podcast now.
I know.
Welcome to the Chris Jericho Hour.
What the hell?
Quick
NXT.
person.
What? NXT UK competitors Travis Banks and Sam Gradwell are dealing with injuries and awaiting.
Who?
I don't know who the second one is. Travis Banks is that.
I know who Travis Banks is.
Yeah,
I was just kidding. But
Yeah, I don't remember Sam Gradwell. I'd have to go back and watch. But they're dealing with injuries and awaiting word on when they can return to the ring or next steps in treatment. From what I heard.
Okay, it's like, is that like a thing? Like everyone's getting hurt right now? Or Tony Storm's down tripled?
No, from what I heard, they said Tony Storm, like, she's hurt, but they said she's just hurt, not necessarily injured. So they said she'll probably be back here before long.
Oh, well, it's a relief.
Did
I
you?
wonder if her injury led to spoilers, I guess, Rhea Ripley winning that thing, or was Tony Storm going to win, or
I don't know.
I wonder how that went down.
I don't know, man. When they drop, they drop. The last story I got here, just a couple of the brand new characters they have revealed for WWE 2K19.
Velveteen Dream, it's all that matters.
Oh yeah, they got quite a few. What do you mean that's all that matters? They've got Adam Cole, baby. He's in the game.
Average Cole. Okay.
Oh, screw you. Were you watching that match he had with Ricochet? That was amazing.
I was watching Ricochet, yes.
That was Adam Cole freaking super kicked the hell out of him out of midair. Adam Cole did. He's probably my favorite dude on the NXT roster right now. Like, just
not even my favorite dude of his own group.
Wow, you're lame.
Roger.
Yeah, Roderick Strong's probably number 2 for me. But anyway, it's Adam Cole, Angelo Dawkins, Bianca Belair, Bobby Fish, Drew McIntyre is returning to the games, Elias, which I know Greg is super happy about.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Gargano, Kairi Sane, Kyle O'Reilly, Lana is apparently going to be a playable character. Liv Morgan, she's new to the game, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Montez Ford, Oni Lorcan, which I never thought I'd see Biff Busick in a freaking WWE game.
PWG.
Otis Dozovich, Pete Dunne, Ronda Rousey, Sarah Logan, Shayna Baszler, Tucker Knight, Tyler Bate, and the Velveteen Dream.
Say his name.
Say his name.
Patrick
Call
Clark. All right. But yes, that is that. So that's all the WWE news I have. There is one, speaking of the Velveteen Dream, we will get to him here in a few, baby. So don't you worry your pretty little head. There's a story about him coming up. Well, we always want to let you know about the network that we are hooked up with. That is the Drama City Productions Podcast Network. If you want to know about all the podcasts that are offered by DCP, definitely go to dramacityproductions.com, spelled how it sounds. Check them out on social media. On Twitter, it's at DCP Network. On Instagram, it's at Drama City Productions. Facebook, just search for Drama City Productions, 3 words. And also, check out Chino's Hip Hop Stop podcast, where you can hear the latest on hip-hop and rap, R&B and soul music, the NBA, NFL, esports, style, celebrities, games, and much more. You can hear about the regular Stories and Small Town Mentality podcasts in our promo breaks. Those are coming up here real soon, but definitely go to dramacityproductions.com to keep up with this and all of your other favorite Drama City Productions podcasts. But I think it's about time for the list, wouldn't you say?
Bro?
Bro. Time for the list, bro. The list, bro.
Oh, look, bro.
This week we are going over the top 10 most shocking wrestling moments. We are here to shocked the world? Let's list them, bro. I got my top 10 here. Number 10, I said Mae Young as the Spider Lady screws over Wendy Richter at WrestleMania. I got it low.
Oh, yeah.
Old school.
I got it low, but, I mean, it was the first ever screw job on pay-per-view, so there you go. Number 9, Mankind is thrown off and through the Hell in a Cell. That's brutal.
As God is my witness, he is broken in half.
For the love of mankind! Oh, wait, sorry, wrong match.
Hey, let's not do that.
Oh, come on, man. One of Michael Cole's greatest rehearsed lines.
Stick to your script, bro.
Number 8, CM Punk's pipe bomb promo on Raw, just because it was really shocking that WWE let him say all that they let him say. Number 7, Stone Cold Steve Austin aligns with Mr. McMahon at WrestleMania XXVII.
Yeah, screw that moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The moment, I mean, turned out not to be great, but it was still shocking. I like how...
You don't say.
Yeah. I like how Stone Cold says now, he was like, man, if I could go back and redo that moment, I'd be like, I'd lean into Vince and tell him, watch the stunner. Number 6, I said Sting debuts at for WWE at Survivor Series 2014.
I still mark on seeing that moment.
Dude, I wasn't quite as giddy as that one weirdo that his video went viral of him like hopping around his house screaming like a weirdo, but I went crazy for that. I was like, holy crap. Number 5, Eric Bischoff is the new Raw general manager. Who the hell? Who would have called that one? That was crazy.
I called it 2 weeks before it happened.
No, I bet you did. And I like how he painted his hair black before he showed up, too. I got to make sure that gray is gone. Last time we saw him on WCW, he had long, like, silver hair, and now he's all black. Number 4, the Montreal Screwjob. One of the most craziest, shocking moments in wrestling history. But I think my top 3 are a little more shocking. Number 3, I said Brock Lesnar breaks The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania 30.
Yep.
Greg, you and I were almost there. If we were there, I don't know how I could have continued on for the rest of the show.
Right?
I might have, like...
It's a good thing we didn't go.
Yeah. I might have broke down crying, and I don't like crying in public, so that's, there's that. Number 2, Hulk Hogan is the third man for the Outsiders.
Yeah.
That...
Still, yeah.
Well, Dave Meltzer called it, Greg, so he knew. But
Well, he thought it was going to be Viscera, though.
yeah, it could have been Mabel, but he was thinking, he was like, well, it was obvious that it was Hulk Hogan, clearly. Yeah, whatever. Number 1, most shocking moment in wrestling history, I said, Vince McMahon buys WCW is on Nitro. Oh, it still hurts.
How about that?
Yeah. That,
I own my competition.
oh, dude, friggin' Eric Bischoff went off about that. Was just like, what a pompous ass. And he was like, but the real reason I'm hating on him is because I wanted to do that so bad. He was like, I guarantee I would have done the same exact thing, but 10 times worse.
Yep.
I mean, Eric Bischoff is the man who lowered himself into the ring while sitting on a motorcycle and wearing a crown. So there's that.
What's wrong with that?
Absolutely nothing. Hey, dude, they should do that with Cody at All In. Or maybe they did do that with Cody at All In. Oh, man. I know Ramon loved that one. But, all right. Well, I guess we're going to take...
a Cody Mark. Huh?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, he let me know how much of a Cody Mark he is on Facebook Messenger. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be discussing all news from elsewhere and also the MMA world.
Small Town Mentality Podcast with your host, Ben. A podcast about nothing and everything. A podcast where we get together with friends, drink beer, and see where the conversation takes us. We don't edit. We don't care what people say. It's small town people with a small town mentality. It gets offensive at times, lots of swearing, and a whole lot of not caring. Available everywhere you get podcasts. You can find us on Twitter at STMPod, on Instagram at STMPodcast, and on Facebook at Small Town Mentality Pod. We'll see you there.
All right, we're back from the break, and we are cruising right into the news from elsewhere around the wrestling world. Time to get going. All right, well, first of all, one of the most talked about stories this past week, and Greg, you gave me some crap for even, complaining about this thing, but the 2018 PWI 500 top 10 list has come out so far, and a couple of the other numbers have leaked. I think, Ramon, I told you, I think...
Joey Ryan.
Yeah, Joey Ryan's... He's 120? Yeah.
That's what you told me.
Okay, yeah. The only reason I know that is because he tweeted it, so I'm like, okay, whatever.
119 more to go.
Yeah. But the top 10 list is as followed, counting down from 10. I think this guy's too low on the list, but number 10, they said The Miz. Number 9 is Tetsuya Naito. 8 is Cody Rhodes. 7, Roman Reigns. 6 is Braun Strowman. 5 is Seth Rollins. 4 is Brock Lesnar. Heaven knows how. 3 is Kazuchika Okada. 2 is AJ Styles. And number 1, of course, is Kenny Omega.
What do you mean, of course?
Because everybody puts him as number 1. I'm not saying he is. I don't believe he should be there. I'm just saying... I actually am a little shocked that PWI did that, though, because they usually heavily lean towards WWE. So I figured Styles would be number 1, Omega number 2. But
they're trying to sell magazines.
I guess so. Subscriptions to their website, bro.
They're trying to get dorks like us to talk about it.
I guess so. Well, hey, it's working.
Oh, I gotta be a dork.
You're always a dork. But yeah, so that's the top 10 for the PWI 500. I just always find this stuff interesting. So, well, when they drop the year-end awards for the Wrestling Observer newsletter, we'll talk about those and complain about them too. Anyway, Impact Redefined, which is apparently one of their TV pay-per-view thing, whatevers, featured 2 title matches with Tessa Blanchard winning the Knockouts Championship in a triple threat match against Su Yung and Allie, and Brian Cage retained the X Division title against Phoenix. There was also an angle where Moose turned heel on Eddie Edwards during the main event and aligned with Austin Aries and Killer Cross. The show averaged 225,000 viewers on Pop TV. That's up from last week's 212,000 viewers, but it's still the 4th lowest audience Impact has drawn this year.
I feel like you're just saying words and trying to make sentences, because I don't know what the hell you were just talking about.
I heard Moose, Austin Aries, and Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
And Tessa Blanchard.
Oh,
I always hear that.
Be Still My Beating Heart. Yeah, Tessa Blanchard. But, yeah, she's the new Knockouts champ. Brian Cage is still the...
Are they really still calling their women's wrestlers Knockouts?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Women's Knockout Champion. Well, apparently the old belt actually used to say Women's Champion. Now it just says Knockouts Champion. So, yep.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Basically. Women's Evolution, people. There you go. Also, last story I got from Impact here. Impact Wrestling will hold September TV tapings in Mexico City. Wow, so they're going from north of the border to south of the border. Yeesh. All right.
They're coming here.
Yeah.
Are they doing
I think we'll probably be there.
They recording a couple matches there?
Yep.
Nice.
Couple of bingo halls.
Have fun with that. But anyway, Jeff Jarrett is suing Anthem Sports over the usage of GFW amped footage. Oh, man.
Yeah. Probably needs it for more alcohol.
That's so messed up.
And here's the story I alluded to earlier. NXT's Velveteen Dream will be wrestling at Evolve 112 at MCW Arena in Joppa, Maryland on September 7th.
You just made that up.
I'm starting to think I did too. And Evolve 113 at La Boom in Queens, New York on September 8th.
You made that part up too.
Is there a better place for Velveteen Dream to wrestle than a place called La Boom?
In Queens.
Right. The Velveteen Queen.
In the common part of Queens.
Oh my gosh. By the way, I know obviously Dream's airbrush tights trended, saying saying call me up Vince, whatever. But I mean, you guys could tell he was doing the Macho King thing, right?
Pretty much.
That vest he wore was the same exact pattern that the Macho King wore on his attire. I have a toy of him wearing that, actually. But took me a minute. I was like, oh, crap, he's Macho King. And he had the crown on, so I kind of gave it away. Last story...
Try to hide it.
Yeah. Last wrestling-related story here before we get into some comedy. Access TV will air New Japan Pro Wrestling's Fighting Spirit Unleashed on delay. It comes from Long Beach, California on September 30th.
That's weird, because they've been airing those live.
Yeah, I know. That's it's weird, but apparently they decided they're going to take this one on delay. They said they haven't quite set a date for it yet, I think.
Maybe because the New Japan shows go like 5 hours, and they need to edit it down and make sure Barnett's not out there dropping F-bomb.
That too. You done effed up, kid. I don't know. Well, actually, Access TV doesn't air it live. I forgot. They always air it on delay, but it's always live on pay-per-view. So.
No. Access TV aired the Cowtower show live.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did. I forgot about that one. Well,
and the one before that, the last one.
Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about those. But yeah, so this one will not be live. So there's that. I guess I better tell you about our latest affiliation. We are very excited to be hooked up with WrestlingWithWrestling.com. On the website, you can get your latest wrestling news from all across the world in WWE, Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, the Indies. You can listen to interviews with wrestlers like Brian Cage and Joe Hendry from Impact Wrestling, among many others. You can see international wrestling videos, and of course, you can listen to podcasts like this one right here. Also, the Triple Threat podcast with the franchise Shane Douglas, former ECW champ, baby, and the WWE main event Curtain Jerkin with friend of the show, Jacob Grandi. Definitely go to WrestlingWithWrestling.com. You won't regret it. Well, let's cover the MMA news here real quick before we get into the little bit of comedy that I wanted to go over.
I thought this whole show was comedy.
Well, yeah, but this is a little more. It's not news per se, but it kind of is because it's current, and we talk about current events and stuff like that. So we'll get to that here in a minute. But real quick with the MMA, I guess women's featherweight champion Chris Cyborg Justino will face women's bantamweight champion Amanda Nunes at UFC 232 in Las Vegas on December 29th, the promotion's final show of the calendar year.
I'm amped for that fight.
You guys going?
No, it's in Vegas.
I thought it was close to you guys. You said something about like a train ride or something like that, or have
That's like 10 hours, 10-hour drive.
Holy hell! Well, never mind then. All right. Well,
if I'm trekking to Vegas for a UFC fight, it's Conor McGregor.
Oh, there you go.
And then I could have it.
Speaking of Conor, well, it's not him, but it's his card. Tony Ferguson will return to face Anthony Pettis at UFC 229, Khabib versus McGregor. Man,
that's going to be a sick fight.
It's going to be a sick card, man. Just those two fights alone.
I know.
You hear this one? Filthy Tom Lawler released by UFC.
And he's going to be in pro wrestling, so yeah.
Oh, really?
Is he all in?
I don't know if you remember, TJ, he's the guy that did the Shockmaster entrance when coming to his weigh-in that one day.
Yeah. There was like a montage of him coming into weigh-ins doing different wrestling gimmicks.
Yeah, hilarious. He belongs in wrestling, so
that's awesome. Hopefully he transitions well. Nate Diaz says that he's focusing on his return after being cleared of domestic violence charges.
Yeah, he'll be back. Madison Square Garden, he's on the card. Book it.
So there you go. I guess all of those charges that were brought up against him have been dropped. So he's a free man again. The driver who killed Jordan Parsons has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for DUI manslaughter. Do you know who Jordan Parsons?
Unfortunately, I don't know who that is.
No.
I do not.
Okay. Well, here's the last story. I got to save the best for last here. I guess best for last, whatever. Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 3 has an official date and venue. The trilogy fight between the two UFC Hall of Famers is slated to take place November 24th at the Forum in Inglewood, California, under the banner of Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions.
Yeah.
It's a freak show like De La Hoya's.
Yeah.
Man, those two are just going to come out and hit each other with their walkers. In case, on the off chance that either one of them hear that comment, I'm joking. I totally apologize. I love you both. Don't kill me. But, yeah.
God, Chuck's old, dude. Tito might still be able to do something to you. Chuck got knocked out by a guy with one arm, okay?
I don't care.
Like, legit. Like Franklin had a broken arm and knocked him out with one fist. Okay?
Well, the man's nickname is the Iceman, and he has a mohawk, so therefore he's already tougher than I am.
15 years ago, he would be able to kill you, but hell no.
He could still kill me. I'm just saying. But I am.
Yeah, but he'd curb stomp you.
How is this not a Bellator?
I know. How would, like, what?
I know, I thought Bellator was a freak show.
Yeah, they usually book the old men fights. What the hell?
Old men fights.
Who's
Crazy versus Shamrock.
Who's the dude that promotes Bellator? Is it still that Dana White lookalike?
No, Scott Coker.
Oh, okay.
That guy's gone.
Oh, okay. Well, Scott Coker, he needs to come out and, like, he needs to go up to De La Hoya and be like, "Look, man, you're impeding on my territory. All right, I book the geezers. You don't understand. All right."
Wasn't De La Hoya talking about coming out of retirement for boxing? It's probably like it's in his heartstrings.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he needs to stay retired.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now to the comedy / current events. I teased for all of you real quick right before we go on to Ramon's list, bro. For all of you who don't know, AAA's TripleMania 26 happened recently. For the second year in a row, they streamed it live on Twitch. But, you know, last year I didn't hear any complaints from anybody about how terrible it is. This year, people couldn't stop talking about how terrible it was. And I'm not just talking about the match quality, which was also terrible, but just everything.
You don't talk about old geezers.
Yeah, well, the video pointing all this stuff out is thanks to Jar Dev. So if you look up JAR space DEV on YouTube, he's got the video. So credit to him. But just hitting some of the highlights here. Ramon, did you watch that whole video?
I did. It was like a car wreck and you just couldn't look away.
I know. I sat there watching the whole thing. I was like, I'm not going to watch this whole thing. And then I did.
Exactly how I felt.
Right? But let's just start off with some of the commentary here. Vampiro, who is the worst color commentator of all time, was on color commentary. And he was off the mic for most of the show, shaking hands with people in the crowd. Just like saying...
Or yelling at production, one or the other.
Yeah. That was great. And then he, quote, explained the rules of a ladder match in Mexico, which are the same rules as they are in America. No difference whatsoever.
And talk crap about American ladder matches.
Yeah, he was like, well, here in Mexico, you have to climb and grab a prize. Like, that's what it is in America. He also, quote, explained the rules of a Mexican luchador, a Mexican lumberjack match, which... same rules, except he completely blew apart kayfabe because he was like, well, here the heels aren't just going to attack the baby faces. No, everybody attacks everybody. I'm like, kayfabe. But
he sure have said heels too.
I know. He also frequently called out the rest of the wrestling industry. He did it multiple times for being weaker in their in-ring style, talking about their weak punches and stuff like that.
It was fake punches to do their squats.
I know. This was, by the way, after a dude who tried to go for some huge high spot off the rope and he slipped, so he went back into the A position and tried it again.
Oh my
My
god.
favorite one is the one with the ladder and like
Oh my
the
God.
ladder falls. Like he gets back up and lays on the ladder.
Yeah, he didn't even hit him. He just like love tapped him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out. Do your spot now."
Like the referees were too lazy to count a pinfall anytime there wasn't the finish.
I know. Yeah, I'll get to the refs, but yeah, when the commentators were supposed to be on camera talking, the camera focused only on the Mexican commentators, and Matt
Hugo
Striker.
Savinovich.
Say what?
It was Hugo Savinovich, former WWE's Spanish announcer.
You talking that really huge dude?
Mm-hmm. He's the
Yeah.
one who takes the chair shot at WrestleMania 19 by a Vince.
Nice. I thought I recognized. I was like, I think he's the dude from WWE. But yeah, yeah. So like Matt Striker has to resort to looking like a creeper, like talking to the camera over their shoulder. It was
He's
so-
like he's smiling at the camera, like, "Look, I'm here, guys."
yeah. That was another part. Matt Striker's like playing to the camera for this really long, awkward pause where he has nothing to say, and Vampiro's insulting him for it. And one of his insults, he says, "You're probably one of those kids from the Me Too movement."
Oh god,
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
he does say that.
Oh, man. Vampiro drops multiple F-bombs and is eating while on commentary.
I'll get to the part when Conan is calling him out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's coming up here real soon. The referee thing, like you were talking about. Referees either stop their counts early because someone missed their spot where they were supposed to break up the pinfall, or they just didn't count at all, making it completely obvious that they knew the finish. Ah, man. As we said, blown spots were repeated multiple times. Super choreographed bullcrap. Here's my favorite part of the whole show. Jeff Jarrett, Conan, and a bunch of Impact and Global Force guys came out. By the way, Jeff Jarrett had the Global Force Wrestling logo on his trunks. So, yeah.
Product placement.
Yeah, right. But they came out and they called out Vampiro, and it went on forever. And Vampiro stands up looking hella nervous. And then he's, for like, it had to have been like 15 minutes. He was shouting, cussing, and literally begging for the production to play his music. He went on and on for them to play his music, when all he had to do was walk 5 feet and he was in the ring. Meanwhile, Matt Striker's trying to like explain all this. He's like, well, the music lets the crowd really get into it and whatever. And Vampiro's a professional, so he won't go until his cue hits or whatever. I'm like, Vampiro is literally the opposite of what a professional is, but okay.
It's funny because at first he's trying to be off mic, hey guys, play my music.
Yeah.
And then he just straight up puts his headset back on, play my effing music.
Yeah, he's screaming.
And then they play his music for 5 seconds, and then he walks into the ring from the commentary.
Yeah. By the way, is it a little weird that his theme song is Back in Black by AC/DC? It's not the song I would have picked for Vampiro.
Remember when when La Parka or LA Park, whatever he is now, comes out and they didn't recognize his music?
Oh my god.
What's going on?
Yeah, oh yeah, he comes out to Thriller. That's a weird. But someone's music hits during a match, and two guys interfere and are quickly disposed of and have absolutely nothing to do with the outcome of the match. Meanwhile, commentary is completely clueless as to why these guys are even out there. They've Oh my god.
They come out and have nothing to do with the finish at all.
I know. Oh my gosh. It was like,
and then there's another match, and then there's another match, and then it cuts to the back, and there's 4 guys fighting.
Yeah.
And Matt Striker has no idea who they are or what they're doing.
Yeah, there's a backstage brawl on the screen. Commentary has no idea what they're arguing about, why they're fighting, what's going on. They're just kind of going with it. During that same messed up match, some dude, they set up light tubes in the corner. Another dude was thrown into them. They explode, and shards of the light tubes fly into the crowd. And Vampiro gets off commentary to go check on the crowd to make sure they're okay.
On the fans, yep. And then there's the cage match.
Oh, we'll get
Fatal.
we'll
We'll
get to that. A production guy actively helps another dude set a table on fire. And Matt Striker
sells it.
Yeah, Matt Striker's like, well, they're in cahoots.
The production guy is their deal.
Oh, I know. Let's see. Laparca comes out in 3 matches in a row. Not joking. Including the main event, which he wins, by the way. His first appearance is during a women's match where the focus goes from the women to a brawl between the men at ringside. And then then the focus switches to evil ref versus good ref, and they start working spots.
Hey, that tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, though, was a pretty good backbreaker by that referee.
It was, but I'm like, what is going on here? And commentary's confused. And then, finally, a woman wins out of nowhere. They go to the back, and that's the end of that. Jeff Jarrett comes out for his match. Jeff Jarrett, a recovering alcoholic, gets a beer thrown in his face by a fan, and Jarrett makes security escort the guy out. Oh, that was something.
Doesn't Laparca come out for that match, too?
He does, yeah. Well, no, you think it's Laparca, but he takes his mask off, and apparently it's Dr. Wagner Jr. So,
no, right.
Yeah, but the camera zooms...
And then the camera missed it.
Yeah, I know. The camera zoomed in at one point. They didn't miss this. They zoomed in on Phoenix at ringside, dropping a blade into his hand and then cutting himself.
Oh, yeah, after he got hit with the guitar, which Jared missed.
Yeah, multiple times. And then Brian Cage at one point hits a move, looks over at production and says, "You effers aren't effing telling me anything." And then he goes for a pin. Man. The wife of AAA's founder throws a pop into Jeff Jarrett's face at ringside there. Phoenix does a front flip over the top rope, completely overshoots it, lands right on that elderly woman.
It kicks her right in the face.
Oh, hell yeah. She eats it. Just full ass in the face from Phoenix. It's... Oh my god.
And Vampiro gets off of commentary to go check on her.
Again. Yeah. He's the only dude. They don't have people designated for this stuff. Like, come on.
They don't have doctors or anything. It's just Vampiro's in charge of checking on people.
Apparently he's in charge of everything, because if he's not there to hit the music, it doesn't get hit. In the final match, it's a 4-way mask versus mask versus mask versus mask in a cage. Laparca takes 2 years during his entrance, wheeling out an old Mexican legend who... And,
a lucha mask.
Yeah, he's in a mask. First of all, it takes forever to wheel him out because the stage is like diamond-shaped. It's like the most awkwardly shaped stage ever, and you're trying to wheel a wheelchair out on it.
Remember the old, like, what was it, Invasion? Like,
yeah.
the way they had that weird-ass entrance way, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, so is that, but it's like skinnier. So imagine wheeling somebody out on that.
Super narrow.
Yeah. And Matt Stryker is like basically begging Vampiro to tell people who the hell is the guy in the chair. And Vampiro never says his name ever. He says everything but the guy's name.
This guy, this is like a father to me. I love him.
Yeah. It's like, he's like a legend in this business.
On back, way back.
Yeah.
Pronouns. Oh.
I know. He never once says the guy's name. I'm like, who is the guy in the mask?
And then he's like, this would be like when you say Lennox Lewis accompanying Muhammad Ali to the ring.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know who this guy is.
I know. I still don't know who that guy is. I'm still lost. But the kicker, during the Fatal 4-Way cage match here, like I said, the stipulation is whoever gets pinned or submits has to unmask. Well, it's Laparca, El Hijo del Fantasma, Psycho Clown, and Pentagon. Well, first off, Pentagon, they rip his mask damn near completely off, so you see almost all of his face. They do the same thing to Psycho Clown. You see most of his face. And then then El Hijo del Fantasma rips Laparca's mask completely off. And then he rips it in half, like when he puts it back on. So you see most of Laparca's face, and then
he throws it back out so he can put it back on.
Yeah, and then they rip Phantasma's mask almost completely off, so you see most of his face. And then finally, Phantasma loses, has to unmask. So
hold on, TJ, you missed the best spot in the match. There's like, they go to a split screen, and yet both cameras are on the same exact spot.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
And then they missed the pile driver.
Yeah, there was like a package pile driver on the other side of the ring, completely ignored while two cameras focus on the same thing in a split screen. That was fantastic. Sums up the whole event.
Two angles of the
but after this match where we've seen all four of their faces, basically, finally somebody has to unmask, and it's like, who gives a damn at this point? Like, mother of God, it was just this event.
Just taking a particle to your face.
This event was just so bad. I actually considered watching it. Now I'm like thanking God that I didn't, because I could never get that time back.
I really like the hit my music. For the love of God, hit my music. I go walk 5 feet.
Yeah, and then he's like deep throating, like he's like, somebody please hit my music. Please hit my music. I'm like, holy crap, dude, just walk into the ring. Who gives a damn?
And Striker's like, oh, he's such a professional. He wants the crowd to understand what's going on.
He's such a professional. He just like insulted the Me Too movement and dropped a million F-bombs, and then like
ate. And
yeah, and he insulted people on Twitter like in the pre-show.
Oh, hold on. Remember, like there was supposed to be a stipulation for like when Conan faces Vampiro or some crap, and then like Striker's trying to get Vampiro to explain what the stipulation is, which I guess is like a loser leaves Mexico. Stipulation. He never says it.
Yeah, he won't explain
the
it.
American audience has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, we're just left to assume what it is. But yeah, it's like it's gonna be Jeff Jarrett versus Vampiro, loser leaves Mexico, and I'm like, okay. And like he's like, that was like twice in the same show. He's like begging him for an explanation for something, and it never comes. Vampiro has been, I don't know, he's been drinking too much Faygo and taking too many chair shots, I guess. I don't know.
Vampiro.
Yeah, we'll save the mind games for later, Vampiro. My God. All right, well, I think it's about that time for the list, bro. And
it's time once again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's not finish that.
To all aboard the list train. What? I don't understand.
Yeah, we've already been perving it up on this podcast enough here, and I already warned you all it's a little long, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mother of God! And then Greg makes it worse.
A little long?
Yeah, it's long. I'll try to cut it down a little bit here and there, but yeah. So a lot of good content in this show, though. So if you're on a road trip, listen to it and enjoy. But Brother Ramon, I believe it's...
if you're heading up to Dayton for HCW, listen to it.
Yes. Dayton.
Wow. I should just pull a Conrad and be like, thank you for that. But,
Roll Tide.
No. Let's get to your list there, Ramon. What you got for the top 10 most shocking wrestling moments? Shocking.
I got number 10, the Austin 316 promo.
Yeah, that was pretty shocking for the time, yeah.
Especially for the time.
Yeah.
Number 9 also.
He slammed a religious thing to get that over, yeah.
Get himself over,
yeah, really.
Number 9, I have another moment involving that bald-headed rattlesnake. The opening, 20 minutes of WrestleMania 30 with The Rock, Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, yeah, it was shocking to see those three in the ring together. Like,
that was
man,
trippy.
If only they could have got Bruno Sammartino out there, that would have been like, you could see like the progression through the years.
The Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
Yeah, and I'd say even bring Cena out there, so it's like you got all like the progression of the guy through the years.
Number 8, I have Edge's original Money in the Bank cash-in.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if anybody really expected him to cash in after that, but yeah. Especially then, I mean, nobody really thought about it because it was the first one, so.
Right, because it was the first one. No one ever thought it would even work that way.
Yeah, you didn't have 500 people out there chanting, Edge, Edge, at the end of the match.
So, number 7, I have the Montreal Screwjob.
Oh, man.
Only shocking because no one ever shuts the hell up about it. Like, what is it, 30 years later?
Well, it was at work, Ramon.
Well, either way, it's still shocking.
Yeah.
Number 6 is something you also had, which was, by God, he's broken in half. Taker throwing Foley off Hell in a Cell.
Hey, he just chucked him off like he was just like a sack of garbage that he was thrown in the dumpster.
He like olayed him, like he's running at you. Oh, screw you.
Yeah. He was like so random, like you didn't, like nobody would have thought, oh, he's going to chuck him off right now. And he just like walks over and he's like, whoop. Like, okay.
It's like, number 5 is Sid snapping his leg in half.
Oh,
good Lord.
That was sick. Yeah, because somebody decided, you know what, Sid, you need an aerial move. Look at that big dude with the huge muscles. Yeah, you should come off the top rope. Seems like a good idea.
Kevin Nash invented the X Division.
Good.
Oh my God.
Number 4 ties into number 8, the live relations celebration.
Relations. Oh man, I bet that was Aunt Lover's favorite. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Lita wasn't.
Talk about they weren't.
Yeah,
Oh, they weren't related.
yeah. I was just saying Lita wasn't related to Edge.
Related.
My bad. Sorry. You're right.
I mean, that was pretty shocking too. Even I was still, I don't know, 16 at the time.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say you saw some boobage there, and that wasn't even. I like how Lito was talking about it. It's like, Vince is trying to explain. He's like, you gotta get naked for real.
You gotta get shoot naked.
You've gotta get really naked.
Almost as naked as Midian.
Oh my gosh.
Hell yeah!
Strip down to your fanny packs. Oh
Come on,
wait.
let's not spoil my list. Come on.
Mother of God.
Number 3, even at the time, as a, I was like 7 or 8 at the time, it was such a weird moment. Was Jeff Jarrett laying down for Hulk Hogan?
Oh man. Well, he never did cut that promo that he never lays down, or he lays down for absolutely nobody, because Jeff Jarrett lays down for everybody.
Number 2 also involves the Hulkster, him being the third man in the creation of the
man.
It's not Mabel.
It's not Sting.
That was, the one that shocked me the most was it wasn't British Bulldog or Mabel. That one I was like, what? Who?
Should have been Mabel.
That was a safe call, I thought.
It would have changed the wrestling business forever.
Oh man, I know. They would have been the FWO, the Fat World Order.
And
numero
number 1 is on my list. The most recent one was Brock Lesnar defeating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30.
Oh, I know. Just ask that dude in the front row.
Yeah, that's that guy in his face. That's how I felt.
Oh man, I sat there and
Poor Quan. I mean,
I sat there in silence.
Said poor Quan.
Oh,
would know.
Oh my God.
I thought you said the right guy who won. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Quan was there, TJ. Remember that?
He was. I mean, that wasn't him, but he looked like him. That's another guy we know. Man, we're just dragging out.
Man.
We're just dragging out all the weirdos today. Jericholic, Quan, like, well, we're not going to talk about the others because it's just like this is as weird as I want to go. Like that's the threshold today. But yeah, that dude was wearing like.
One day you're gonna wake up and I'll be standing. Never mind.
Shut up! No, we're not finishing that. That's not gonna be a T-shirt. I am, by the way, working on. Speaking of inappropriateness, I am working on a T-shirt that has to do with our show. Well, I guess 3 weeks ago now, and I brought it up last week. It's hashtag junk hand out of nowhere. It's coming to Redbubble. Hopefully, it will be on the site by the posting of this. Go to redbubble.com/people/podcast wrestling society, or I'm sorry, /pod rest society. And you can get your hashtag junk hand out of nowhere shirt.
And who wouldn't want one of those? Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you want to wear that around town? Wear it to your grandma's house. Like, come on. That's one of them shirts you can wear to the funeral and the family reunion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves it.
Right.
Dude, I should get that shirt, and I should go to WrestleMania Access next year just wearing a hashtag junk hand out of nowhere shirt. Then I can get some awkward looks from the guys when I go up to get an autograph. That would be awesome. Like, now I just want to go to an autograph signing wearing that shirt just to see what people say. We're like, get the hell out of my line. Oh, man. But anyway, so that's that. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Ramon will probably not be with us this next segment, but Greg and I...
Are you guys killing me during the break?
Well, I don't know. Them hobos, that rejected you, they might have to kill you so you don't reveal...
Oh, yeah. Like Matt the Juggalo and... was it Jimmy Soup Pants? I remember those guys.
It was the Junkyard Juggalo, yeah. And
oh yeah, glad you remember.
Dude, that is money.
Shut up. Well, they gotta kill you because otherwise you may reveal the location of their secret underground base that's creating the groundswell of HCW. So.
Tinfoil Hat Timmy, Rice Bowl Richard.
Mother of God, he's got the list.
Soggy Jimmy Soup Pants, Big Bum Pataki, Frogface Frank, Grinning George Rockpile, and Matty Mace, the Junkyard Juggalo.
What the hell?
They're the ones that tried out here in San Francisco.
All from Tent City.
I was gonna say, Greg probably walks by 5 of those guys on his way to work every day. So.
Oh yeah, he sees Rice. He sees Rich the Rice Bowl guy all the time.
Oh my God!
What the hell? I don't want to know.
A long story.
Also, this guy always just wants to shake his hand.
His junk hand?
His junk hand.
Hashtag junk hand out of nowhere.
I don't know where the hell it's been.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh, and that brings us right back to, please, if you're going to a wrestling show, take a shower.
The smell, bro.
Even if you're not going to a wrestling show, take a shower.
I know. TJ, he's like, oh, if you're going to a show, don't advocate taking a shower just because.
Yeah, I mean, please take a shower. But if you're going to be in public, for the love of God, take a freaking shower. Like, there's that comedian Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. Yeah. You ever see the thing where he's talking about his stepson? He put deodorant all over the house, so every time his stepson would open something, it would be deodorant. He's like, put on deodorant.
You know how you're walking down the street or at a sporting event, and the guys outside are like, "Oh, water's $2, whatever."
Yeah.
We should go to wrestling events selling deodorants or bars of soap.
Oh man, I could make a killing. Hey, new idea, Greg. We'll put the PWS logo on it.
Dude, we do that at HCW, man. We're gonna clean up.
Literally.
You guys don't smell that.
I didn't even mean to set you up with that either. That was an accident.
On one side, it's going to be the PWS logo scratched in, and on the back, it's going to say "The Smell, Bro" and scratched in. Oh man,
they got a certain smell, bro.
You know the smell, bro. I'm not going to tell you, but you know the smell. All right. My gosh. But anyway, well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll cover All In, bro, and we'll get to Greg's list after this.
Drama City Productions presents.
Hey, it's Ben here, host of the Regular Stories podcast, a podcast where I interview interesting people about their lives. These are not celebrities. They're not the elite. These are regular people, and these are their stories. You can follow us on Facebook at Regular Stories and on Instagram at Regular Stories. We are everywhere that you can get a podcast. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, just about everywhere else. Look up Regular Stories Podcast.
Yo, we are back from the break to talk a little All In. Greg had to go away for a little while. He had not seen All In by the time we were previously recording. Just to give some trade secrets away here, we kind of record in shifts, which is why sometimes after the break, Ramon either has to go or Greg has to go or what have you. So last week, Kyle was not in the final segment for multiple reasons. One, he really had to go. The other one was because Kyle doesn't really watch anything but WWE, so when I'm talking All In and I was talking about Fire Pro Wrestling, which he does not own, he didn't really have anything to add to the conversation. He would have just kind of been like a listener in. So I decided just to do that segment by myself. Ramon had to go. Greg had to go for a bit, but he will be back to give us his list, bro, in the next segment before we finally cut this off. I'm going to try to keep this short, sweet, to the point, but I did want to talk about All In. I promised you guys there would be an All In segment to this show. It happened this past weekend. It was historic, man. I posted about it on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook. Check it out. At PodRest Society is the handle on all of our social media. PODWRES Society. Let's just get right into the show, man. It was from the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. Sold out 10,411 tickets. That's crazy. A lot of people have been really, dogging on the event because, see, there are two camps. Before I actually break down the event here, there have been two camps with this, and both of them really annoy the hell out of me. One of them is the WWE people who diminish the event and, oh, well, this, or oh, well, that, or oh, well, Cody and the Bucks booked themselves to look this way, or they did this, or there's a bunch of marks, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, it was only a one-time event. There were no storylines and all this other stuff. There were actually a few storylines going into this. But yeah, it was kind of devoid of storylines. It was a special, out-of-the-box, non-affiliated event. It was like the Super Bowl of the Indies almost because, sort of. It was a way to bring in talent from New Japan Pro Wrestling, AAA, Ring of Honor, and across the indies. It was a big indie wrestling show. But that was the first camp. The second camp were the indie marks and the WWE haters who went, oh, thank you for saving wrestling. This was the greatest show of all time. WWE's got nothing on this, yada, yada, yada. I'm not comparing this show to a WWE show. I'm not going to do it. It's not really fair. Both are great in their own ways. Both have their own, special whatever to them. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, this had nothing on a WWE show, or it was much better than a WWE show, whatever. Because, like I said, they're both very, very different, and it's not really fair to compare one to the other. But getting off my soapbox, getting into the actual event at hand here, let's go through some of the matches. I was unaware, because I didn't start watching because I was at work, or I got to work at a certain time. I was watching a little bit. I pulled it up on my phone. I was able to watch on my way home from my father-in-law's that day, and then I watched until, I got into work. I missed bits and pieces of it, so I had to watch the replay to catch it all. But I was unaware that the WGN America show, the All In 0 Hour, was for all intents and purposes a pre-show. I thought that it was just like a little, maybe a hype thing or a documentary type thing to get you to watch the pay-per-view, but they did it smart. But it was my fault. I didn't know what it was. There were two matches on the show because at one point during the event, I was wondering where the promised tag match was between SoCal Uncensored and the Briscoes. That was on 0 Hour. I wondered where the hell I didn't have to wonder where the over budget battle royal was, because they flat out told everybody, hey, if you're listening to this, it's all spoilers, so I'm not gonna hold anything back. They were saying, hey, Flip Gordon is gonna take on Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor title. He won the over budget battle royal. I was like, what the hell? I was happy, but I was upset because I didn't see it. So I was kind of I was pissed, but yeah, and we'll get into some of the issues about this event later on. It's not going to be all, praise and cheery and whatever. Just as a heads up, before we get into the actual results, I'm using Wikipedia for all of this, like I usually do for WWE and NXT shows. The event was notable for being the first non-WWE or WCW promoted professional wrestling event in the United States to sell 10,000 tickets since 1993. That's huge. As much as people talk about ECW and look back through rose-colored glasses, they didn't do it. Nobody since 1993 did it, and it's not telling me what organization it was. I'm assuming it would be... it was probably like AWA or something like that, but I'm not 100% positive. Getting into the actual show here, the 0 Hour show, they come out to start the show, they being Cody and the Young Bucks, come out to start the show on the stage, and they say, oh, what would it be without a legend? And Matt Jackson says, oh, what a rush. Then Road Warrior Animal rides out on a motorcycle, just revs it up for the crowd. It's cool to see a Chicago boy there. They call out Hot Topic and Pro Wrestling Tees guys to throw shirts to the crowd. They do pyro. They're like, yeah, and that was another thing. They freaking had pyro, which I was not expecting, and they had a lot of pyro, and it was great. I friggin' loved it. But getting into the actual show here, the first match was between SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, and the Briscoes. During the match, Jay performed a Jay Driller on Kazarian, and Mark hit a froggy bow on him. But Kazarian broke up the pinfall attempt. In the end, the Briscoes tried to execute a springboard doomsday device on Kazarian, but he reversed into a power slam by grabbing Mark out of midair and nailing a power slam off of Jay's shoulders. And Scorpio Sky held back Jay, and they got the win. I was shocked that SoCal Uncensored got the win. It was cool, though. And the thing is, Scorpio Sky was dressed like Apollo Creed, and then you had Kazarian dressed like Rocky. So that was pretty cool. The Over the Budget Battle Royal, everybody started off outside of the ring, kind of like wrestled outside and inside the ring, and there was a lot of cool people there. Notably, Flip Gordon was not known as Flip Gordon in the match. He was dressed up like a luchador, wearing like green and yellow, and his shirt said like never job or something like that. And it was pretty cool. But he got put through a table instantly by Bully Ray, so he was out through the whole match. Cool way to help him preserve his energy for later on in the night. But we didn't know that. The final competitors, Jordan Grace was the only woman in the match, and she actually eliminated Brian Cage. And then she ended up getting eliminated by Bully Ray. And so if there was going to be one woman in that match, Jordan Grace was probably the right one. She's a kind of I don't know if she's a bodybuilder per se, but she does a lot of weightlifting. She's a very strong woman. But yeah, so she belonged in there. I see her all over Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. So she seems like a cool person. But anyway, regardless, she got eliminated by Bully Ray, and Austin Gunn, who is Billy Gunn's son, was actually in the match. He was pretty good, but he seemed too much like a brunette clone of his dad. I think he needs to. I mean, it's kind of cool. He was even wearing his dad's old gear. Like, because his dad, Billy, was in the match, and he was wearing red trunks with kisses on them, and Austin was wearing pink trunks with kisses on them. Both had the same boots and everything. Both moved exactly the same. Both just abused the hell out of the suck it taunt and did it exactly the same. It was cool, but it was just like, I hope Austin Gunn gets his own identity after a while. Yeah, it came down to Bully Ray he thought he won, but then the luchador guy gets in the ring. I can't remember what they were calling him, and he slowly takes off his mask to reveal it's Flip Gordon, and he hit like one super kick on Bully Ray, tossed him out. So that was cool. He wins. He's going on. The crowd goes crazy, starts chanting for Flip. And the crazy thing was, if nobody knew he was going to be there, they sure had his music queued up. So that was funny. That was a fun pre-show. The first match on the card was Matt Cross versus MJF. I've never seen MJF wrestle. I haven't seen Matt Cross wrestle since Wrestling Society X, if I do recall. He's also known as M-Dog 20 in the indies sometimes. This was kind of a match I didn't know was even going to be on the freaking card. It was okay, an okay opener. But Cross won with a shooting star press on MJF. MJF, I've heard a lot of stuff about him from MLW and everything. He's okay. He's not bad. I could see him when he matures more in the business and everything. I could see him doing something. He was pretty cool. Seeing him for the first time, he was just like a cocky young guy is his gimmick. So next we got Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell. This match was a lot better than I thought it would be. There were some sloppy parts. The most unrealistic thing was Stephen Amell set up a table outside of the ring and knocks Christopher Daniels down onto the floor off of the apron, and Daniels like staggers around and perfectly lays back on the table. But then Stephen Amell psychs himself up on the top rope, jumps, Daniels moves, he goes, and freaking Amell just crashes through the table, and it explodes into like 3 pieces. But the funniest part of all this was the crowd, like in unison, they knew what to chant. They just started chanting "Broken Arrow." It was fantastic. I loved it. It was a fun match. Like I said, it was a lot better than I thought it would be. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't holy crap, that was great type deal, you know. But it was good. And Daniels ended up winning with the best moonsault ever. And then they shook hands and all that at the end of the match, so that was cool. Next, we get a fatal 4-way women's match. They called it a 4-corner survival match, which would, and they even said this on commentary, they said that usually means elimination, but it was not. It was fatal 4-way. It was Tessa Blanchard versus Chelsea Green versus Madison Rayne versus Dr. Britt Baker. Britt Baker came out dressed like a doctor. I guess she is a doctor in real life. And she came out to Adam Cole's old Ring of Honor theme. For all of you that don't know, she is dating Adam Cole in real life. So she kind of did a tribute to her man with coming out to his old Ring of Honor theme. And Chelsea Green did her whole split personality gimmick. Like half of her attire was all white, the other half was like green and something else. So it was like split, and then like half of her makeup was messed up and half of it was fine. They all wrestled a pretty good match. Again, there were some sloppy parts, but it's a 4-way match, so it's going to happen. Chelsea Green, actually, she's dating Zack Ryder in real life, so during the match, she did his woo-woo-woo face wash in the corner, but instead of using the boot, she did it with a knee. So that was cool. The crowd got into it. In the climax of the match, Blanchard performed the Hammerlock DDT on Green to win the match. And after the match, the 4 women hugged. There's a lot of hugging involved in this show. The match was fairly good. Tessa Blanchard came out to the ring and using, a lot of people use theme songs they never used before, but they weren't like real songs. They were like custom, whatever. So they had somebody mixing music for them, which I believe, which is pretty cool. But her theme was pretty sweet. She came out to the ring. She had her father, Tully Blanchard, on one side of the ramp, and they kept calling it a ramp. I'm not going to do the same thing. It was a stage with stairs, and then they had a runway. And so on one side of the runway, she had Tully Blanchard, her father, then she had Magnum TA on the other side, who is her stepfather. And yes, and she hugged them both multiple times and showed off coming to the ring and everything. So that was cool that they got their moment on All In. Lots of legends involved in All In. It was great. Most of them were holdovers from StarCast, that went on throughout the weekend. Next, match placement was a little odd in this show, in my opinion. This was one of them. We have Nick Aldis defending the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship against Cody. Both of them had entourages coming to the ring. Brandy Rhodes comes out before anybody, wearing the most skimpy outfit I've ever seen her wear, and which was a little awkward because one of the members of they called it the Nightmare Family with Cody. He had like his little entourage. One of the members was his father-in-law, Brandy's father. So I was like, it's a little awkward. I don't know when she's wearing that. I don't know. To me, that would be awkward if I was in that situation. But regardless, in the Cody Rhodes entourage, I'm going to try to remember most of the names here. It seems like the most weirdest entourage until you find out. I mean, the reason he had these people come to the ring with him was because either they were good friends with Dusty and now they're good friends with Cody, or they helped train him. Like one person I'll get to, he had DDP with him, Tommy Dreamer, his father-in-law, his dog, Pharaoh, and then he had Glacier. I was like, what the hell is Glacier doing there? But apparently Glacier helped train Cody, so I'm like, okay, that's an odd one. I don't know, like that one just stood out to me. Like, of all the people you got here, not that I'm like dogging on Glacier or anything, but it just okie doke. That I just didn't see that one coming. But yeah, so he comes to the ring. Nick Aldis came out with his own entourage, which unfortunately did not include his wife, which he was awfully sour about on social media. But that's another story. He had, I don't even remember who all he had with him. I know, he had Jeff Jarrett with him because they talked about how much Jeff Jarrett meant in the last so many years to the NWA title, and he had Sean Daivari with him, Arya's older brother who used to be in the WWE. And yeah, so they both had their own little entourages. It was cool, but yeah, and they'll get involved later on. Let's get to the match here. Aldis wanted to perform See, at one point in the match, Cody goes for a springboard to the outside, gets elbowed in the face. He does the blade job. Hebner, they sell it perfectly because Hebner throws up the X. I don't think Cody was legit hurt. I think they were just doing that, but he might have been. I don't know. He was down for a long time outside the ring, and DDP tries to get over there and help him out. Daivari's mad that they're not calling the match off, so he shoves DDP. He gets in the ring. DDP goes in and nails a diamond cutter. DDP looks amazing, as always. And he got out of the ring like he used to, where he lays back and kind of flops out of the ring. So that was awesome to see. Great blast from the past. But Cody's in the ring at one point. He's laying down, and Brandy's over top of him, trying to convince him. It's like, don't do it, whatever. Just give up. And then Aldis is up on the top rope, and he wants to do an elbow drop, and she's like, no, don't do it. He does it anyway, and he nails the elbow drop on Brandy, who's laying on Cody. The crowd chants a-hole at him, and then Cody kicked out of the move. Cody later hit a beautiful disaster and then hit the crossroads on Aldis, but was not able to score the pinfall. Cody and then Aldis attacked each other with punches, and then Cody hit a vertebreaker on Aldis, but he tried to, but Aldis reversed it. In the end, Aldis tries to steal the finish, but he does a sunset flip, but Cody drops right down and just jackknifes him. 1, 2, 3. Cody gets the win. He's the new NWA World Heavyweight Champion, following in his father's footsteps. That was maddening. It was a great match, probably the best Cody Rhodes match I've seen. It was fantastic. I'm going to try to remember the rest of this from memory because Wikipedia doesn't have the full results up for some flippin' reason. But yeah, so that was a great match. I guess Aldis's entourage was Jeff Jarrett, Samuel Shaw, if any of you remember him from TNA, Sean Daivari, and Tim Storm. Yeah, so those guys. That was a great match. Not the best of the night, though. We'll get to that. Next up is Hangman Page and Joey Janela with Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford actually gets involved in this match and does some spots with Page, but I believe she gets super kicked for her troubles. They use a literal, because they're sponsored by Cracker Barrel and TGI Fridays, they use a literal Cracker Barrel during this match as a weapon. It's pretty sweet. I enjoyed it. The match, lots of high spots. The finish was because Adam Page or Hangman Page, whatever, had used a cord phone to quote unquote kill Joey Ryan. So he pulled it out of this bag, or no, I'm sorry, his boots that were talking to him and being the Elite, those were in this bag. But he did have a phone, and the boots came into play with he got freaked out, and then Joey Janela super kicked one into his face. But he had a corded phone. They climb a ladder next to a table, so you know what's going to happen. But he's beating the hell out of Joey Janela with his freaking phone. Then he chokes him with it. Then he picks him up, and off the top of the ladder, he nails Rite of Passage through the table, gets the win. So Hangman Page, goes over. As a spoiler here, the only person from the Bullet Club that didn't go over all night, there was only one person, and we'll get to him. It was fairly obvious. If he would have went over, I would have been pissed, even though I'm a fan of his. But after the match, these guys in inflatable penis suits come out like druids, and then this weird 60s music hits, and Joey Ryan comes out. The crowd freaking blows. Tons of people making penis jokes. He comes out with the lollipop. He starts beating up Adam Page or Hangman Page, who looks like he's seen a ghost. Freaking Joey Ryan beats the tar out of him, puts the lollipop in his mouth, and then super kicks him. And then after he drops him, then he rolls him out to the penis men, who carry him away like the druids, and the crowd chants, "Rest in penis." It was weird. I'm not going to lie. It was the weirdest freaking segment. The crowd seemed to like it, though, so what the hell ever. It was what it was. But yeah, then we go on to the Ring of Honor title match. Before the match, we see Jay Lethal is walking backstage, and he gets smacked in the shoulder by somebody, and he kind of stands up. He looks over. You don't see who it is. You just see hands, and the hands hand him sunglasses. Well, next thing you know, during the match, Flip Gordon comes out with Brandy Rhodes, dressed like she's, a sexy military woman or something in the USO entertaining the troops. Flip is in his G.I. Joe looking attire. And then the Macho Man's theme hits, and frickin' Jay Lethal comes out in Macho Man's actual gear from his debut in WCW, like the jacket and everything, like the real one, not a rip-off one. And Lanny Poffo is with him with the T-shirt that for him and Jay Lethal. It says like "Brothers from Other Mothers" or something. And he's throwing frisbees out to the crowd, but it's the return of Black Machismo. During the match, he gets out of the ring and he acts like Brandy Rhodes is Miss Elizabeth, and he keeps bringing her over to his corner and making her stand there. And during the match, at one point, she gets in the ring, and he like picks her up like Liz on his shoulder and walks around. And it's some cool stuff, but then she smacks him, and it's like he snaps back to reality. Like he's like, "What am I doing here? I'm Jay Lethal." And then him and Flip have a really good match. And then he hits, I didn't like this part, he hits 3 elbow drops off the top, the Hail to the King, can't pin Flip. And then Flip hulks up, he does the "what you gonna do, brother" into the big boot, and then can't get him, he doesn't pin him. Finally, Jay Lethal hits a springboard cutter like off the top rope, and then he nails the lethal injection. He gets the win. Then Bully Ray comes out and attacks them both, starts beating them up, and he gets a table and he sets it up. And then Colt Cabana comes out to save them. He starts beating up on Bully Ray. Then they do the 2 other guys get up and they do a triple power bomb onto Bully Ray through the table. The funniest part was like right before he gets put through the table, he yells, "Oh my God, holy!" And then they slam him. So it was great. But it was a cool moment. Colt is wearing a singlet that says "All In" on it. Pretty cool. Then we move on to, in my opinion, the best match of the night, one of the top 5 matches of the year. Greg and Ramon might not agree with me, but this match went on for 17 minutes, 47 seconds. It was Kenny Omega versus Penta El Zero. which is apparently another name for him. Before I thought it was L0M, but I don't know if he can legally use that on the show, so he's just Penta L0. And they called him everything in the book. They called him, Pentagon, Pentagon Jr., Penta L0, Penta L0M, Penta L0, whatever the M stands for. Just, oh my gosh. They called him everything you could possibly think of. So, but yeah, so he goes by all those names. But the match was really good. Lots of V-triggers and package pile drivers, and he finally gets the one-winged angel, Kenny Omega, hits it, and he makes the pin on Penta, gets the win. The crowd's going nuts. The lights go out for seemingly ever, and they're talking on the commentary team like, well, things are going to happen. It's not going to be perfect. We got some technical difficulties. Lights come on, and it's Chris Jericho is laying down dressed as Penta L0, and he stands up, and he starts beating up Kenny. And at first, we don't know exactly that it's Chris Jericho, but if you know the tattoos, you can kind of figure it out. And then he runs up and hits a code breaker, then rips off his mask, and it's Chris Jericho. And everybody's going nuts. And he beats on Kenny a little bit more, hits another code breaker, and then he picks up the microphone and he says, I'll see you on the Jericho cruise, and then leaves. It was great. So, advertisement for his cruise. We got to see Chris Jericho. He was all in. It was great. But I guess he would be Penta L2J or something to that effect. Either way, this match, my gosh, Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll. Before the match, Marty's like, he's on this kick about, even though I'm a little guy, I'm just as good as the big guys and whatever. And he does this thing in the back where they've got two people impersonating other people. I don't know who they are, but you only see their arms. And they're like waving their fingers at him in his face, telling him, you need to listen to this and you need to do this and blah, blah, blah. I don't know who the hell they're supposed to be, but Marty takes their fingers and he does the whole shh and then acts like he's breaking their finger type deal to both hands. And it was the dumbest thing. It went on forever. But then they come to the ring and Okada's in full Rainmaker mode. He's got the cool jacket and everything. And they have a good match, but it goes for 26 minutes and 5 seconds. My God, it just went on. According to what I've heard on the internets, and the internet is never wrong, but from what I've heard, they went 12 minutes heavy. So this was supposed to be like a 14-minute match, and they went for 26 freaking minutes before the main event. It was like, it wasn't that good. But Okada ends up getting the win with the Rainmaker, and it was, like I said, it was a good match, but not good enough to go 26 freaking minutes. It was the longest match on the card. The only matches that come close, Kenny versus Penta L0 went for 17 minutes. Hangman Page versus Joey Janela in the Chicago Street Fight went for 20 minutes. And Cody versus Nick Aldis went for 22 minutes. So it went longer than the NWA title match. It was ridiculously stupid. And that caused the main event to get cut down and the end of the show to be just a cluster. The main event was the Golden Elite, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kota Ibushi versus Rey Mysterio, Rey Fenix, and Bandito. Rey Mysterio was dressed like Wolverine. That was awesome. Matt and Nick got some new tights for the Golden Elite. Looked pretty cool. They had fire pyro and everything, and some cool music. It was great. The match was great. It was a big spot fest like you could imagine, and Lucha Libre style and all that stuff. I enjoyed it. It went under 12 minutes, 11 minutes, 48 seconds. And the Golden Elite gets the win with the Meltzer driver. It was a really good match. It could have been better if they had longer. And then you could see the timing issues when at the end of the match, they're like, oh, they win, yay. And as soon as they win, 1, 2, 3, boom, they stand up. They got their arms in the air with the referee pointing at them. They make the announcement that they won. And the announcer is like, for Excalibur, Don Callis, Cody, the Young Bucks, blah, blah, blah. And, like, in the middle of his sentence, they cut out to the end graphic, and they've got to go. Like, they're done. So it was, I don't know. If that is true about the Marty Scurll and Kazuchika Okada situation, shame on them. They kind of screwed over two of the guys who booked the damn show. And yeah, and Marty Scurll is the only guy from the Bullet Club who didn't go over all freaking night. So how about that? But yeah, he seems to be on this kick about, he wants to prove that he's over and everything. And I like him, but I think he's trying too hard. But yeah, so that was All In. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. Definitely hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @PodRest Society for all three, and tell me what you thought of the event. But yeah, before we go into the list, here, got some hot info for y'all. So now's as good a time as any to let you know about if you want the look, bro. And not the kind of look that we make fun of, but a good look, bro. Go to redbubble.com/people/PodRest Society and pick up yourself some Podcast Wrestling Society swag. We got t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, mugs, travel mugs, clocks, phone cases, tablet covers, stickers, and there's a ton of stuff more. If you want something with our various logos and graphics on it that we don't offer, let me know and we'll get it up there. There's a bunch of different stuff, pillows and blankets and scarves or whatever else. If you want it, we can try to get it to you. Just let me know on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram @PodRest Society, and we'll get it up there. Definitely, like I said, check out redbubble.com/people/PodRest Society, PODWRES Society. Well, Greg is back with us here, and you know what that means. It's time for the list, bro. And, well, I guess now it's time for your top 10 most shocking moments in wrestling history, bro. So what you got, Broy Gladstone?
Oh, my God.
What? I thought that was a good one.
It is. It's just, wow, I never saw that coming.
There you go. Okay. You weren't supposed to.
Cool. Well, yeah. All right, here we go.
Pronouns, pal.
Number 10, I said Naked Midian shows up. No, I'm kidding.
Hell yeah.
Although that was shocking, it did not make my list.
Big sweaty fanny pack.
Oh, smelly sweat. All right.
What the hell? No.
Number 10, I said when Goldberg squashed Brock Lesnar.
Oh, man.
Like, super shocking.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think about that one. But yeah, it was. Like, I almost had that look on my face like, well, the dude we talked about earlier when The Undertaker lost.
Yeah, exactly.
I had that look on my face like, what did I just watch? Like,
I remember vividly. I went to the. I missed that pay-per-view live because I went to the Patriots game in Santa Clara against the Niners.
Yeah.
And I came back and I was like tired. I was like, oh man, I'm amped for this match, but I'm hella tired. And I'm watching it and it ended that quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. It kind of like woke me up. I'm like, something else is going to happen, right? Like something's going to happen. And yeah. I'm playing it on the network. And then, I hit play real quick and it says there's only like 1.5 minutes left. I'm like, wait, that's really going to be it.
Yeah.
So like, that was also like that added to my shock, it's like, wow.
Yeah. That just happened. And
yeah.
Okay. It's like, the WrestleMania 20 match would have been a lot more entertaining if it was something along the lines of that.
Yeah. Right.
And again, I think, if Stone Cold would have dropped Trow and crapped in the middle of the ring, it would have been better than what we saw, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Ah, man. Next, I said Brian Pillman with his gun.
Oh, man. Pillman's got a gun.
Yeah. That was, yeah. Dude, when I was a kid, I was like legit scared. And I thought like Austin got shot. Because how they did the whole thing where it went off, like the snow screen came on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Man, that was crazy for back in the day. I mean, that'd be crazy now. There's no way they could get away with anything like that now.
Oh, hell no. Nor would they try because it's PG.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it was yeah, it was shocking. I wasn't watching wrestling yet, so I have no, firsthand knowledge of it, but yeah, going back and seeing it, I was like, wow, that was big.
Mm-hmm. It was huge.
What the hell? Big league.
Number 8, I said the Sandman getting crucified.
Holy mother. Yeah. That one just...
I think you might have been right with that.
Yeah. The one that makes me laugh is like the response that Raven had to Taz when like Taz got hot about it, and he was like, he's like, oh, you're gonna put him on a cross. It's like, why don't you and Paulie put him up on a Jewish star? And he was like, because it would roll away.
Yep.
I'm like, what in the hell? I mean, that was a funny response, but it's like, yeah, like in retrospect, like, I mean, they should have known. Like, it's just not cool. But, well, it cost them a chance to get Kurt Angle in the long run. So,
yep.
And not that as big a deal as Kurt Angle is, there's no way in hell he would have, like suddenly switched things over and all of a sudden ECW's on top or something, But,
yeah, I know.
But still, looking at it, it's like, man.
Number 7, I said the Radicals debut.
Yeah, that was huge.
Huge moments.
Yeah, it wasn't just like 1 or 2 guys. It was like 4 big names.
Well, I was
biggish
just
names.
I was just talking to Ramon like earlier.
Yeah.
About like where I'm at in WCW. So like Benoit just won the title. Can I say Benoit on here?
Yeah, we're not on the WWE network, so we're good. Screw that.
So Benoit just beat Sid for the title, right? And like Sid's foot was under the rope. Mm-hmm. So the next night they do a thing where, oh well, there's no champion, we're stripping, because it was already a vacant title as it was because Bret Hart had to retire. So like Benoit wins it at Sold Out, then he's stripped the next night, and I'm on the next night actually after this happens. So I actually forget, which I'm kind of happy about because I can go back and rewatch and be surprised. But like Benoit stripped of it because his foot's under the rope. And I was like, wow, was that purposely set up to prolong the Benoit Sid thing, or did Sid's foot being under the rope happen to be like a great coincidence, blessing in disguise because Benoit was about to leave? Because he wouldn't be on the Nitro the next night, and he'd be on Raw the next week.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it
was pretty shocking.
Well, the thing was, they said his contract was ending when they gave him the title. So like everybody was talking about what a stupid move that was because he wasn't committing to re-signing with them, but they slapped the belt on him anyway.
Yep.
It was just it was dumb. What would have been funny was if, and I have respect for the the title and all that, but it's still with what WCW tried to do. It'd have been funny if he would have showed up with the big gold belt and threw it in the trash on Raw.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh man. But then turnabout's fair play. Turner would have went around and sued the hell out of WWE.
Yep.
So there you go.
And next, I said Montreal.
Oh, yeah. Well, wait, what Montreal incident are you referring to here? Because
the Montreal incident.
Well,
of course, I'm talking about Sylvain Grenier screwing Hulk Hogan over at No Way Out 2003. Duh.
Oh my gosh, you seriously had one ready to go? Like, wow. I was just like, you just pulled one out of. Was that real?
That was real. Yeah, it was at No Way Out 2000 or 2003. Sorry.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
You had that one ready to go. Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
No, well, nice going there, Broku.
That's a new one. You should have saved that for Ramon. He would have loved that one.
I'll bring it back.
All right. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've covered that a million times. Here's one neither one of you guys said.
Good.
Not right. Shocked, but I mean, it's a big thing. Was the curtain call, the original one?
Oh yeah, that's right. It wasn't recorded by an actual camera, like in-arena camera. It was kind of like smuggled out by somebody. But yeah, that was, oh man, that was it. And the thing was, like, nowadays, people brought up, they're like, nowadays it happens like almost every freaking indie show you go to. But back then, that was like,
I mean, also
heresy.
Nowadays, there's always going to be a camera there, no matter what. They always have house shows now, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, it's on your freaking phone. Back then, it was like, dude, how did you, I mean, it was a crappy quality camera, but still, it's like, how did you smuggle that thing in? Like, cameras were huge back then.
I know, right?
It's like, it's not like you can, like, stuff it in your pants, or, you know, as they say in Deadpool 2, stuff it in your prison wallet.
Oh, man.
Got a Deadpool 2 reference in.
The rest of them, I think you guys said, and they all kind of match up. I mean, not numbers wise, but like, I think we all had these in our tops. Number 4, I said WWE buys WCW.
Oh yeah, definitely has to be on there.
Number 3, I said Hogan turns heel.
Yeah.
Number 2, I said Eric Bischoff debuts in WWE.
Yeah, man, that one had my jaw on the floor.
Yeah. And number 1 for me, still this day the most shocking, was the end of the streak.
Oh yeah, that was saddening. Every time I think about it, I tear up a little bit.
After last night, he was like, "Man, I forgot we had planned to be there."
Yeah, yeah, I know. We talked about it. I even posted on Facebook about it because Facebook likes to remind you of what you posted years ago. And I saw that one day. I'm like, holy hell, that's right. We were planning on being there, and something happened, and I don't remember why we didn't go. But, yeah. So it's crazy.
Probably a good thing we didn't.
Yeah, because I would have been like, man,
I feel like this year. I kind of find it funny, by the way, the one we finally went to was also New Orleans.
Yeah, I know, right? So we ended up going anyway, and
that was just a major coincidence, I got to say. By the way,
I know, and it was. And like the shows were great, the city, we've beat this one to death. But
I've told everyone I will never go back there again. It's miserable.
I saw somebody that was like, "Well, can't every WrestleMania be in New Orleans?" I'm like, "Please no, just why?"
I was an idiot at that amazing shop we ate at on Bourbon Street, but yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
he goes, he's like, "It's the perfect spot, WrestleMania," and we're like, no.
Yeah. Well, it's a party city. Like, yeah, we don't really party, no. So I'm not too into big crowds and drinking, so yeah, I don't think you are either. So not exactly our cup of tea. But yeah, so good list, bro. And yeah, so speaking of lists, next week is going to be a little interesting here. I have the top 10 wrestlers who got fired for good reasons.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that'll be a thinker, but there's some good ones that you can slap on that list. And I'm anxious to see how our lists match up and how they differ. But yeah, I know this, like I said, I know this one went a little long, but thank you all for hanging in there. Lots of good content in here from all across the wrestling and MMA world. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Of course.
And we will be coming at you later. Peace out.
Later.
This has been a Drama City production.